I reread some parts of the second installment, and in all honesty, just with this, with last chapter's knowledge of it could all have been Shion from the very beginning, it also does make a lot of sense too. Literally, the whole beginning of this chapter is all about showing off how similar yet slightly different they are. They have the same exact thought process. The only thing that just doesn't exactly make sense is just, well, the game is gonna show it off later, is Chiana's gonna pretend fully to be Mion to the point of almost self-flatteringly like trying to be like the, I guess, the main successor heir, and like having Mion pretend to be Shion in the jail cell, and Mion pretends to be Shion for the whole entire time Keiichi's down there and talking. How are they gonna broach that topic? I've reread through basically the entirety of the ending of the second installment, and even some small Kier scenes after the festival happened. And yeah, honestly, it all lines up really well too. At the same time, just like rereading it again, you can't actually even pinpoint that it would be Shion even from the beginning now, especially without the information. Shion technically had reason to hate the entire Sonozaki family, especially since we barely knew anything about Satoshi around then either. Oh boy. You've made so many notes of like things I pinpointed down and all of that. And the one thing I can definitely conclusively say is that by the end of it all, none of Keiichi's friend group, Reina, Rika, and even though Sadako wasn't the main focus, her too, none of them realized it was Shion from the very beginning. Like, not even to the very end. Maybe Rika probably realized by the end when she went over to get soy sauce. But yeah, even just hearing how Rika, like, not Reina, like, was talking to, like, to quote unquote Mion at the end before, Keiichi was brought down to underground bunker, she was still acting just like it was Mion entirely the whole entire time. And it wouldn't exactly make sense to even consider that. But also, it kind of makes sense now that Shion would actually hate Reina and basically everyone in the friend group as well, actually. Oh, God. Shion hates Reina for, like, having, because of the whole mass hysteria of, like, bringing up them, and talking about Satoshi, like, bringing up about, like, telling her about Satoshi if God damn that God. The whole footsteps behind her, which honestly, like, God, that's probably one of the reasons why she went crazy this time. She even brought that up in her phone calls that lately she's been noticing she had this feeling that she's being watched, Keiichi, during their nightly phone calls to him, just to check, to quote unquote check up on each other. Uh, it's good God, there's so much there. And like even just like rereading like some of her phone calls, I still like entirely can't blame her, because like sure, for one thing, from whatever thing I guess we can piece together loosely based on what happened in the other installments, there is a likely possibility that it's not the Sonozakis. I don't believe that at all. Even before it was like, Shion like even tased during the last episode, in the last chapter, I didn't even think it was the Sonozakis, but that's only just small deductive reasoning, like how I outlined before in like one comment of it doesn't make sense for the Sonozakis to hate Satoshi and run him out of town, but then put a scapegoat of someone who's like, high on meth to take the fall. It wouldn't make sense like doing that weird back and forth. At the same time, hearing literally everything Shion mentioned in the very last chapter, even like rationalizing everything down to the smallest fiber, I can't say I can't disagree with anything she's proposing, honestly, just based on how she's like trying to reduce it out and reason it out. And that's probably also another reason why she kept making focus like Keiichi as well. She's also trying to figure out if Keiichi sees anyone suspicious around him, and trying to make sure he's still alive while she still is in hiding. So no matter what, she was still trying to figure out what was happening. And that's another thing though, because it feels like now that I have it, it almost feels like Shion must have gotten worse out of everyone in town. Like literally just in the sound of it, unless some other new character shows up, which gives the whole pity points to them more. That Shion was basically the outcast of her entire family just because she was born as a twin to Mion and born literally a few seconds later than her. Then literally their whole family just started treating like literally Mion like in their side so much more better. Uh Shion was grouped together with her mom, who was basically just disowned from the family, forced to go to a boarding school, and that's not even barring all the fact of being reminded again of basically all the on and off discrimination happening both to the Sonosaki family, to the town, the dam project, everything. Basically, anytime someone outside the town realized that you were born, you lived in, or anywhere near the town of Hinamizawa, basically everyone started hating you, or just like purify the spot. If people were dating and they didn't say about that, and they find out, immediate divorce, all that kind of stuff. Throw a stone, and God, especially along with them, like her having getting really attached to Satoshi, and then all that, and then ah, good God, there's just so much wrong. And honestly, there's probably a reason out there was probably three reasons why she gone crazy, but I feel like I'm forgetting the third reason out my head. But one of the reasons, especially because of that same thing that Toshi felt before he went missing, before he went demoned away, of him that whole year-long shadowy figure which followed her, no matter where she went, and she thought it was Satoshi's presence until before now realizing, or at least now I'm switching perspective on the fact it could have been someone else entirely. There's that, and then the whole fact that Mion threatened her after Lily Shion heard about Tomataki and Takano are dead, and their grandmother and Mion basically point blank said they deserved to be killed. But the worst part is, I don't even think Mion even realizes or even knows who the other two people who went to the storehouse were. Honestly, sadly, just from how she spoke to Shion when in the cage, I honestly don't think she does know. Mixing things every much worse. And by this point, after everything that's happened to Shion, I don't think she's gonna buy anymore. Especially now, she's now doubting if Mion actually was actually telling the truth at all, and is actually a great liar. Especially since what's better way to try to get into someone's good side and be more trustworthy by literally the same way of trying to mimic their pain, and then then having the maybe realization that they were trying to do it just to get closer to you and try to hide themselves away from suspicion. Like, good dear God, I don't blame her for thinking anything the slightest. It's all around terrible situation for her entirely. There's no other way about it. And from what I can see for this chapter right here, it's probably gonna be her reasoning out all about her I'm pretending to be Mion, going to the school, pretending to be her, then having then talking to no, later, actually we haven't got the phone call yet, unless I can bring that up. She's gonna talk to Keiichi, she's gonna go to the library, run away from Oishi, calls him that same day. The mayor goes missing the exact same night because she realized she needs to talk to him. She did as she talked to Keiichi on the phone, she did literally say she talked to him straight out and revealed everything to him. But if he's dead, oh boy. And from the sound of it, she didn't get the information she wanted. And then the whole thing with him on that very next day, she confronted Rika. That's why I suppose, anyway. And I remember making that same exact reasoning before in the second installment, going through it. She was the one to attack Rika and talk to her about it and roughed her up. And then she might have overheard the whole conversation Keiichi had with Rika. Then the phone call later that same day, decided to bring up the whole fact of him put that conspiracy almost in his head, or almost unintentionally do so, about him revealing a secret, like revealing what happened to other people will get them targeted next. Ugh. But like there was also the whole thing that I'm even as pretending as Mion, Shion did mention to Keiichi that she did like him at the end. Basically as her, she just said like Shion did like you, Keiichi. And there's a bunch of whole stuff like that. Like since she's been talking to like Keiichi for a while, maybe she noticed like there was some similarities between how they talked. Maybe. Even though they're still like Keiichi still is childish and all that. But probably just because of like we can see and hear all his like thoughts and all that. And like it's not we're not only just getting his dialogue and just someone else's thoughts like Shion is like in this installment. It probably does come off as more he's way more childish and immature than anything else instead of a bit more cunning and all that. It's so much. There's so much. Oh god, there's even a few things I even noted down here even still. But maybe Rika actually noticed the mayor was like who actually went after the mayor. Because it may be a throwaway line, but I'm just gonna point it out right here before continuing on. And man, I'm already over 10 minutes just theorizing all this, but by this point, I just want to get this all out of the way, so I can merely just put out to see if any of these come to fruition in this last chapter. Rika mentioned that she got lost and compared it to the mayor going missing, and then from the sound of it, maybe Rika probably doesn't know if it was Mion or not, or whoever it was, from the sound of it. But like the assembly hall, they have the whole meeting there. But no, Rika wasn't there. Like only for the 3 family meetings, like in the Sonozaki house. But still, I've read through the entire thing of her code names and words about cat, dog, and etc. She definitely was probably mostly talking about cat and all that. And even in her dialogue, she did not imply at all that she thought it was Shion. Never. She always thought it was Mion. So even if Rika did see who it was, she would only think it was Mion now by this point. And it's so goddamn bad and horrible to think how this all could have fucking happened. Another point to the whole thing of Shion actually might have liked Keiichi's, and I'm even like quote unquote Mion in the end, like when like walking towards the underground bunker, she just turned red and all that. So she might have unintentionally like started noticing how close she was to Satoshi, or like, oh god, there's so goddamn much. But one small detail I got reminded of the flesh can incident and about the canned flesh incident. And this is definitely not to be not to be taken like I guess into the story itself, but it's an interesting thing to think about again. The bacterial test that World War II that Japan did on innocent victims, they put a strand of a virus in their body just to see how much they would kill, how long it would take to kill them, and what effects it would do to the body. But then sometimes they would dissect the bodies, sometimes when they're still alive. Just how Rika was found dead in this third installment. God, there's so much. And like since this entire thing was planned from the very beginning, how long was this entire story and narrative like being planned out? How much in advance, honestly? How fucking much in advance was everything pre-planned out? It's honestly insane. Truly. My god. Well, we're at 14, 15 minutes just for me talking about trying to tangle with all that. I don't exactly blame Shion at all, honestly, into all of this. Just from how she's talking, but oh my god. I was having such a happy dream. Satoshi-kun was in the dream. He was leading his normal, everyday life. Oh boy. He was back in the baseball team. Eri and I acted normally around him because we knew that's how mature people should act. We welcomed him back, as if he had been here with us the whole time. Although he hits well in practice sessions, he still doesn't do well in a real game. Come on, Satoshi-kun! 3 strikes already? I'm cheering for you. Then Satoshi-kun pouted as he mumbled. I felt tears pouring down my face. Oh. Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun. It's honestly so goddamn sad. Oh god, like, just realizing that basically and that's the thing, because even from the sound of it, she doesn't have anyone to really talk to about this either. Like, even though she technically made some friends, just from how, like, it was glossed over so quickly in just one line, she only just made some acquaintances. And even though it's been over a year, she probably hasn't even gotten, like, as good of friends as anyone. She can't talk to anyone. Especially with, like, maybe she could talk to Kasai about it. But, oh my god, because the whole thing with him, the burdensome and all that, and just trying to figure things out herself. Oh, good god. I wonder if she actually tries to talk to him a bit. And I'm oh god, if things happen bad on that end, then oh my god, she's completely then fucking alone. Oh my god. The happy dream faded out with my sobs. The harder I tried to focus on it, the faster it faded. Soon, it was all gone. I could see the bright morning sun through a crack in the curtains. I was in Mion's room in the Sonozaki house. When did I come back? I was crouching in the corner of the room and crying. A dream is a dream. I wish I hadn't woken up. But one must wake up from a dream. We live in a world where there are no dreams, and that's why we always wake up. I wasn't sure if I was the only one dreaming that dream, because I felt like Satoshi-kun was right beside me. Satoshi-kun? Did you come back? There was no reply. That was the rule. If it was Satoshi-kun, I wish she'd smile at me just once. But Satoshi-kun's presence faded away, as if he were never there to begin with. Whatever that thing is, whether it's in her brain or like something supernatural, it's pretty much almost all its fucking fault. This is slowly happening. Like, oh my god. Even if it's just paranoia from their thing, it's too many things of lining up with the exact same this weird presence is following people. It's not a coincidence. It's either supernatural or literally, just as I mentioned before, it's all mass hysteria. Which, honestly, I'm slowly leaning towards mass hysteria now. Oh my god. That's right. I was the only one in the house now. I had to answer it. I got up to walk to the front door. I felt unsteady, so I put my hand on the wall to support myself. I hardly got any sleep. It was more like I had a bad cold. The phone continued to ring. Probably didn't have to answer it, actually. I was still half asleep, and all I could think of was answering the phone. Hello, Sonozaki residence. Kichiro. Sorry to call you so early. It's Kimiyoshi. Is your grandma still sleeping? It was Uncle Kimiyoshi. She is, yes. I guess she's still tired from yesterday. I think I'll let her sleep in. Yeah, you probably should. Mian-chan, you're going to school, right? Can I leave a message with you? Sure. What is it? Let's see. When the music comes back in full force. Okay, oh boy, oh god. Oh, no, oh god. And if I'm depending on how he talks and like gives a messenger thing to him, the heir, the successor, it makes things even fucking worse. And this is him, the mayor. So, oh god. Oh, that was the thing. That was what I just got reminded. The third, I guess, the other reason why things went crazy for her. Like, literally just her background with the Sonozaki family, discrimination from Hinamizawa itself, a damn product, that's all coalesced into one reason. The second is basically just why Mion suddenly intimidatingly, like, started bringing Shion up, like, by the collar right then and there before Shion tased her. And the third and final reason, actually, what made her, like, I think probably already went crazy here, is she accidentally killed her grandmother just from the taser shot. Oh, good god. So many bad and coincidence misunderstandings, which even the game brought up before, coincidences too. God fucking damn it. I guess you could say coincidences all line up with mass hysteria then too. God fucking damn it. Oh boy. Let's see. There will be an emergency meeting regarding the incident from yesterday. It will be at the Shrine's Assembly Hall, starting at 5 p.m. Did you get that? Yes. I'll give her the message. As soon as I put the phone down, it rang again. Hello, Sonozaki residence. Good morning. Sorry to call you so early. Oh, good Kasai. Oh my god. Obviously, of course, you would call about, like, how's this gonna go? God damn it. This is Kasai. Is this Mion-san? Good morning. Kasai-san. Good morning. Is Shion-san still there? Oh. Oh, god. I wasn't panicked, but I hesitated. I could tell him no. Or could play both Mion and Shion. Shion was just washing her face just now. I'll get her for you. I said I played 2 parts. I went back and forth down the hallway and picked up the phone again. Kasai? Morning! Good morning, Shion-san. Oh my god. Are you going to school today? Oh god. It's another thing, too, of like, she has to play this side just because she accidentally killed someone, too, and because, she wants to figure out what's happening, and, even the low-down whole thing of, like, she might be in danger, too, she can't even reveal it to anyone because of it. Because everyone in this village and all that. Good fucking god. Because even the apartment itself is part of Sonozaki's, too. From her own parents and all that. And even if, like, her mom is on, like, you know, like, on her side, her dad technically isn't from the sound of it. Oh, good god. I feel miserable. I kind of expected that. By the way, how are you getting back to Okinomiya? I can have someone come pick you up. I think I can get a ride from Uncle Kimiyoshi or somebody else. Don't worry, I'll figure something out. Your brother told me to make sure you go to school often enough. I appreciate your cooperation. I'll go when I feel like it. The very second, like, she leaves the library is when she's last seen, so she stopped talking like Shion. Oh boy. By the way, Kasai, did you hear? About what? You know, the incident from last night. Yes, I have. No, truly horrifying. All the past victims were war criminals from the dam conflict, right? But it's different this year. What do you think about that? I don't really know. Kasai wasn't the type to talk too much. He just a small talk banter person. I kind of get that vibe a tiny bit. If it was about something complicated, he usually responded like that. Do you know why those 2 fell under the curse of Oyashiro-sama? No. I heard this last night. Supposedly, they snuck into the ritual storehouse during the festival. They used the metal wires and then unlocked the door. Kasai went silent for a while. I held my breath while waiting to see how he responded. Oh, god, and she's like doing this just to gauge how he talks and reacts to, god. Even as herself, so like there's not even that kind of lie either, god damn it. I expected him to say that you couldn't believe those people were chosen as a victim just for stealing to a storehouse. I expected him to say that it was just too unrealistic. I see. That was stupid of them. Since Tomotake's-san was an outsider, I bet he didn't know. Oh god. Oh god, she's putting this fucking reasoning. Oh god, good god damn it. I went along with Kasai, but I felt disturbed on the inside. Kasai didn't wonder why breaking into the ritual storehouse would justify their deaths. I'd known Kasai for a long time, which is why I knew there was a heavy meaning to what he said. By the way, Kasai, actually, I did it too. Did you go in? Yeah. You went to the ritual storehouse, Shion-san. Yeah, oh my god, so, like, even now she basically, like, admitted everything. Like, oh god damn it. Yeah, Takano-san invited me. Takano-san, Tomotake's-san, and remember Keiichi you just moved here recently? Him and me, to make 4 of us. I heard Kasai sighing heavily. Even though he didn't say a word, I could tell he was shocked. Never known him to act this way before. That's not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. Shion-san, do you remember what happened last year? How do you think you can take care of this? Last year it was 3 nails, so maybe 5 this year? I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to make light of the situation. I knew I shouldn't have done it. I regret at least a little, but is it really that terrible thing to do? You were related to the Sonozaki main family. Do you really think people would understand? But I've been living in Okinomiya all my life. Because the old woman hated me, I've barely been to Hinamizawa. So I was stuck at school. How would I know about any of that? I heard another sigh from Kasai. That sigh told me my excuses would be useless. Shion-san, I am your ally. I want to support you as much as I can, but there are dangers that even I can't protect you from. Besides, she... Oh. Sorry. Sis is here. I gotta go. See ya. Wow. At least he was trying to be helpful, but oh my god. Oh my god. Just from the implications alone. Oh god, from everything. Oh, good god. It's not helping her at all. I interrupted Kasai and hung up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear Kasai reject me. He, who had been my ally all my life. Oh, that's how you interpret it. Oh, good god. Shit. Damn. Damn it. I could hear the sound of cicadas. The sound made it feel like I was being choked, like cooked in a huge frying pan, making a sizzling noise. Couldn't help feeling remorseful. Now I knew that sneaking to the ritual storehouse wasn't a laughing matter. I really didn't know at the time. Sure, the door was locked, so they didn't want anyone to go in. And why did they change the lock? What did they say? I think it was that Rika-chama said that the previous lock was too heavy for her, so she had to change it to the cheap one. Yeah, that's a line into how you talk to Keiichi on the phone. That was how Takano-san broke in. If the heavy lock was still there, this wouldn't have happened. I slapped my own forehead. I took a deep breath. I had to calm down. What's the point of fussing now? I had already passed the point of no return. Practically. There's no use thinking otherwise. The hag was already dead. Even if she wasn't, she was now at the bottom of the well. Therefore, it was already past the point where I could just cut up my fingers off in apology. I felt so unstable. Yeah, oh god, even if, like, even if, like, it was all an accident and all that, god, so many different fucking things and thresholds are passed already, and by this point, it's too late. God damn it. Oh god. I felt so unstable. I'd walked in the fence around the swings in the park before, as if I was walking a tightrope. It was fun because even if I fell, it was only a very short distance. But it wouldn't have been fun if I were up really high. At that moment, I was in fact already in a tightrope that was a lot higher than the fence of the park. As soon as I took a step, the rope behind me would vanish. I couldn't step back because of nothing behind me. That was, in short, the current situation I found myself in. Just sitting in one spot was all I could do. Even if I never took another step, I'd fall if I wasn't careful. If I forced myself to walk, the danger would only increase. But if I didn't move, I would fall eventually. I couldn't see what was ahead of me. There was no guarantee that I'd ever find firm ground. If I stopped, there was only one fate waiting for me. I had to move onward. If staying here guaranteed death, then I'd rather try to walk, if I die as a result. If there was a dead end ahead of me, at least I tried my hardest. In general, I try to be optimistic. I could accept my life not lasting particularly long, but I wouldn't go easily. I'd struggle as much as possible. I'd already killed the hag. For that, there could be no other punishment than death. I knew my life would end soon. In other words, I was actually already dead. A dead person has nothing to lose. That means I can only go on the offensive. I clenched my fist tightly as I muttered. Even if I had to die, I couldn't die easily. This was my chance to avenge Satoshi-kun. Who did it? For what purpose? And why? I was going to investigate. I was going to question. I was going to expose. Yes, I was going to settle the score. Oh god, I just realized even from the sound of it, oh god, even though she didn't like Sadako either from the sound of it, she only wanted to go out to, like, talk to Rika and, like, the mayor, and, like, if they didn't go the exact, like, ideas they did, and only propose and, like, said again about the whole three families thing again all over, oh good god. She wasn't even trying to aim for Sadako until she, like, made the mistake of, like, of Rika calling and all that, like, and killing her there like that, oh god. It was like a point of, again, another point of no return, like, repeatedly, over and over and over again. Never stops rolling. I carried the plan I came up with yesterday. could hide the hag's death somehow. All I had to do was say that she hadn't been feeling well since we went to Nagashi. I could do it all while pretending to be Mion. Just in case her friends at school become suspicious. Maybe I'd start telling them I hadn't been feeling well either. Oh, literally when she met up with Keiichi and Reina, like, god damn it, Reina, like, felt her head and, like, said, like, the sickness, too. And that same day, she'd get out early from school. Good god damn it. In fact, I did feel groggy from my lack of sleep. When I became Mion, Shion would automatically disappear. I already took aside that I snuck into the shrine storage, so I'd probably end up telling people that I was demoned away, due to the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The last person I had to think about was the fourth one who snuck into the richest storehouse, Keiichi Maebara. Maybe I can use him as bait to lure the enemy. Sorry, Kei-chan, you're gonna be my bait. I feel a little bad since I was starting to like him. With all that figured out, let's go to school. I'd gone to school as Mion before, so I knew how things worked. It was almost time to leave the house. Oh boy. Oh yeah, here. Michan! You're late! You waited? You should've just gone on ahead! Yeah, it's the exact same fucking dialogue. Yeah, hi. Hey, Mion. Your face is red. You're breathing heavily, too. Michan, are you not feeling well? Reina put her hand on my forehead. Reina, your hand is pretty cold. Michan, you're a little bit warm. It's no big deal. Give me half a day and I'll be fit as a fiddle. Are you really okay? You don't have to push yourself, you know. What's this? Kei-chan, are you worried about me? That's nice of you. I always thought he was a goofball, so I was a little surprised. I thought they would tease me, but they didn't. I just think you shouldn't push yourself so hard. We can tell the teacher you have to take the day off. I'm fine. Took some medicine. I think it's already working. Okay, let's go. Don't overdo it, but of course, there's the time. What? We need to run or we won't make it! This morning got pretty thrilling, huh? It's just what I need to shake up the sluggishness. Let's run. Yeah, oh my god. That was one thing. If we're gonna see a scene happening in the school, yep, we were. I was actually kind of hoping we get a scene, like, in the school itself as well. Of, her blending in well, and plotting out a course of action, like, all while in the guise of being someone pleasant. Oh, good god. Next day from here, she, like, will, like, you know, talk to Rika, like, shove her around and all that, and, actually, probably, like, later today, she'll kill, like, talk to, and then something happens that she ends up killing the mayor. And then the next day, Rika comes, and, another discussion happens there, and a murder happens then, and then Sadako comes, and good god, and then afterwards she has to pretend that that she didn't do anything with it, and called Sadako cursed. Oh, good god. President, if you would. Everybody stand up. At attention. I made the same mistake before. I never learn, do I? Do you think Michan is doing okay? She doesn't look too good. Oh, really? How unfortunate. It was a good idea to make them believe I was sick. If I did things differently from Mion, I had an excuse. Well, you know. Girls have those days when they just don't feel well. I don't have those days. My god. Nepa, Hoshi. Mion's friends kept each other occupied and left me alone. Keiichi Maebara. He might suddenly disappear one day. I couldn't let that happen. It'd be like letting a fish at the bait and swim away while I was fast asleep with a fishing pole in my hands. I couldn't miss the moment the enemy took a bite out of Keiichi. I had to be very careful. It was impossible to keep my eyes on him 24 hours a day. Yeah, even, like, I'm even trying to think of ways of, like, even if you, like, wanted to protect him as well, but also try to figure things out. I don't know what's a good way to, protect Keiichi as well in this situation without him, almost compromising your own situation, and then, whoever the main culprit is, if it is the real thing, and, how everyone in this family, even Kasai, even, like, the grandmother, and even Mion implies, it was gonna be bad no matter what. Ah, it would just almost be compromising itself. I can't think of anything, honestly. I can't think of anything, honestly. It's like almost the same thing happening again of like the ending of the first installment where I was trying to think of different ways of how even Keiichi could get out of it, but things got so fucking out of hand that and like so goddamn confusing and sometimes like so suffocating. There's absolutely nothing you could do except try to go with the flow or like do something terrible. Oh, God. Spying on him at school like this wasn't good enough. Should I have him meet with Shion and let her explain that he's in danger? Maybe we could set up a strategy together. And that's when the phone calls happened. She wanted to gauge and like figure things out, like how to plan things out with him. Ugh, God. There was all these like plans and all that. The phone calls are literally just to try to find a way to keep each other safe and all that. She even got feedback from Keiichi, even like acting as herself too. She was already herself doing all of this. She was trying to get advice from him. Even he couldn't think of anything. Oh, ah. Maybe we could set up a strategy together. I didn't think Keiichi realized how serious a crime it was to step into the ritual storehouse. I mean, I hadn't after all. And since last year, all the incidents that relate to the curse had probably been investigated in secret. Yeah, last year was put into confidentiality too. And that definitely is like can be explained as well from the same thing if because how everyone discriminated against the town. That's why the whole curse thing. Everyone like put that on an immediate blackout. God damn it. People involved with the three families would know about the first incident from last night, but Keiichi shouldn't know anything. If he knew where he stood now, he'd be more cautious too. That should make him aware of his surroundings. Maybe he would notice if anything odd took place. Oh, she was actually trying to help too. God damn it. I was actually thinking maybe she would go that too far, but oh no. Oh boy. The teacher caught him sleeping, so she ordered him to go watch his face. He walked down to the hallway. I was sleepy too. I had to be alert, but I couldn't clear my mind due to my lack of sleep. I decided to go home early. Since I've been pretending to be sick since morning, my request was approved. In this conversation. As I exited the building, I saw Keiichi washing his face. I thought you'd be out here. It feels better outside, huh? Oh, Mion? No cutting class now. It looked like it was refreshing for him to wash his face with cold water. I washed my face too. I didn't feel as good as it looked. Oh, Mion, how's your cold doing? You're sleepy because of the medicine, not from lack of sleep, yeah? Hmm? Well, actually, this is a secret, but after the festival yesterday, I got wrapped up in the party my relatives were having. And, well, I had a bit. Pretend to drink with an invisible glass. Are you hungover? How old are you? Yeah, the same exact conversation. Keiichi exaggerated his reaction, but he still seemed worried. Okay, later. I'm going back. Be careful on your way home. Don't wobble into a sewer or a brook, got it? Oh, and the fact the running thing there, like, so many people kept asking the same exact question. And I think the first time he had that question was asked to him was by Shion then, so she asked the question twice. Oh boy. Keiichi turned around to go back to the classroom. Oh, one more thing, Keichan. I stopped Keiichi. He, in response, turned around. What's up? Well, this may sound weird, but don't think too hard about it. Well, depends on what it is. Last night, near the end of the festival, did you see Tomotaki-san or Takano-san anywhere? I noticed Keiichi's body tense up. His reaction proved that he felt guilty about sneaking to the ritual storehouse. Yeah. He was frightened that Miya and Sonozaki might know about it. I guess it was enough to give him a certain impression of Miya and Sonozaki. You know Tomotaki-san, Takano-san, don't you? You remember Kei-chan, when the four of you were talking during the setup the day before? I could clearly see how dismayed Keiichi felt. He was trying to come up with an excuse. I can't remember. I might have seen them. Or not. He was both a bad liar and a bad actor. Yeah, oh boy. He wasn't really that intelligent at all. Yeah, he's technically an unreliable narrator in that sense of like not the fact that he's lying or like even like he has mental illness and things like that, and he's probably seeing things like that. He's not able to pick up any cues or pick up anything from any other people. He's not able to piece things together quite clearly, or all the things that actually might have proved what happened, technically speaking, or out of his perception entirely. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ugh. Well, that would make him a suitable friend for Mion. He was just a brat, unlike Satoshi-kun. Although when it came to lying and acting, Satoshi-kun was at about the same level. Maybe Keiichi should be credited for at least trying to tell a lie. Satoshi-kun wouldn't have even said a thing. No, I didn't even be thinking about him right now. These thoughts all over again. I figured slowly over time. God damn it. My God, oh my God. Holy shit. So like I had to plan like these small details out even for the fifth one. Oh, good God. Like the writing is amazing then, trying to like go on both sides. I see. Then one more question. On the same night, did you see Shion? That's a very mean question. Katie was perplexed, as I expected. That... Didn't you ask me that yesterday? I think I told you that I wasn't sure if I had or not. Eh? I asked him that yesterday? It must have meant that Mion Sonozaki asked him that question. In other words, she asked him that after he left the storehouse and got back together with his friends. Damn you, Mion. When I asked her, she said she had no idea what you meant to the Rich's storehouse. Shit. Oh, yeah, she actually was lying from the beginning then, oh my God. Nope, okay, I couldn't even recognize that. She was like trying to do the opposite thing of like not lying, but I'm trying to verbally twist things around, and I forgot about that question the very end before the day happened. My God, the very last thing. I need to see that scene all over again then. I think only she asked that question. There might have been a few more comments, or maybe something Keiichi noticed. Maybe. Because like if something's completely out of the ordinary, he definitely like notices it. But like has to be like almost very noticeable. Which I'm pretty much almost anyone would notice. Unless they're that slow-witted, which I don't think anyone in this whole entire game is. Did you? I guess I just thought I'd get a different answer if I asked you again. Why are you so intent on knowing if I did or not? He's getting defensive. Keiichi couldn't hide his panic as he flared up at me. No, it's not important. Just that there are some people who are speaking poorly to Mataki-san, Takana-san, Shion, and you, Kei-chan. I didn't really hear what they were saying, though. Keiichi was really perplexed now. This wasn't fun at all, but it could still be an interesting game. I don't believe that you were doing something bad. I just wanted to ask a bit about it, so I did. Sorry for making you uncomfortable, okay? I made sure Keiichi felt a sense of crisis, then left. Nobody can tell us apart. We're Mion and Shion, perfect twins. No, page 186. Yeah, I'm gonna be more surprised if anyone in the first time noticed something weird because honestly, based on the combination of the first installment, even thinking about that, oh boy, I'm not trying to think like that's the thing because that means like if something was going on, then there must have been some goddamn reason that why I'm at least before the whole medicine thing. Oh wait, oh good God, what was happening? What's happened at the very end of the first one? If that was really Mion and Ray at the end, and they're like trying to pretend that I'm like, or they noticed something was wrong with Keiichi, which by the end of it, like honestly sounds like he's like taking everything completely perfectly. If the medicine they're trying to put into him was really just making him go to sleep, and the people who chased after him were actually just trying to restrain him for like something or like some protection or something like that, then the whole thing ending of him getting clawed out and the missing note scrap, that wouldn't make much sense. What were they doing then? If this is a similar situation, but Mion is like almost threatening her like in some certain way, even if you're like mean, like, even the beginning when Keiichi, like, woke up in the first installment after being strangled to death almost by those two random guys, basically Reina was actually put on airs, like, trying to be calming and all that, which I guess would be to try to pacify him more, and then Mion was called and showed up later, and I guess tried to do the same thing before then Katie started screaming, and they can console him, so they tried sedating him. And the thing with the medicine syringe, actually, thinking about the second installment, the police, I literally read that again, and I literally misread that, I think, misinternalized it the first time. They didn't actually were able to analyze the medicine. The syringe was broken in the well. Unless they tested the water or something like that, and they still couldn't find anything just yet. Or they had to, like, or they're still analyzing the well to see what it even was, and they had no idea what it was. Both the syringes were gone, or basically they couldn't even detect it, or even figure out what it was in the first two installments. And then the third one, we don't even know what it is. The only question is, technically, is why would Tomotaki, like, claw his own throat? Why would even Keiichi do it at the very end as well? Especially since the fact even now we don't even know much about Jiro. So even if there's a whole thing of like literally on an even more extent than Keiichi's technically unreliable narrator to even a mental illness extent, which even in different perspectives and all that from here, doesn't even seem like many people actually say that besides the coach. But even then, it just feels so unbelievably wrong to think that way. Huh. Man, that's the one thing I did not want this game to go for. And honestly, I hope, like, there's a different thing and a different idea or theory that, like, goes instead of Keiichi is actually going insane. Because that's not too much fun, honestly, and just in the sound of it. Like, even if, like, he was insane, even if, like, he was going under, like, he's going paranoid, like, there's already those small bits and pieces, like the first and second installment there with the extra footstep. Well, not even the second installment, actually, just the first one. It still, even in his perspective, like, was felt reasonable no matter what. And then when he actually sat down and talked to people about it, and they acted normal for a bit, it all felt completely genuine. Honestly. Like, even the time that Keiichi talked to Mion for being the first installment, completely wholesale, before she started, like, angrily going after, like, saying Oishi was, I should have fucking killed him and all that. She acted just like how she would normally. And if that needle thing was actually gone from there, like, even that was the thing, because even if, like, Keiichi, like, even that whole conversation, Keiichi brought up the needle, which, even if you say, like, he was insane, he brought it up, and Mion admitted it, that she put it in like that. And then if, like, even if that conversation was a lie too, it's slowly going down a whole entire thing of, like, nothing, you can't even trust anyone. Which I guess the whole game was pushing out to be the beginning, but if it went to that extent, then, I don't know how to interpret Reina, like, being so goddamn defensive, even when Keiichi kept asking and asking things repeatedly, even when it's literally a repeat of Satoshi, and everyone really cared for him, and everyone was looking for him, unless literally everyone was secretly just hating on them, which does not make any sense. So, what the fuck? Ugh, good god. When I reached the Sonozaki house, I saw a woman with an apron on. It was a housekeeper. Her name was Shimiko-san. Okay, so you're gonna get rid of all the workers so they don't notice that Oreo's gone then? The hag had a few housekeepers who took care of the chores in the house. Oh, Mion-chan, I'm glad you're here. Hey, Shimiko-san, can I help you? Today was her turn to come help out at the house. She'd a ride, but the gate was locked and she couldn't get in. Ooh. She called, but there was no answer, so she had just been standing there, not knowing what to do. Oh, something must have happened to Granny at the festival. She's been in a really evil mood ever since last night. Oh, I see. You want to go inside and see her anger lash down on you? Shimiko-san tried to remember if she had done something wrong. She's ignoring you. She's just sleeping. She was up until very late, so I bet she can't wake up yet. The worst part is that's not even a lie either. But she was up late and all that, so yeah, finger guns. Lying with the truth, yay. You know how she is, right? Once she gets into this mood, it'll take a long time for her to be happy again. Yes, that's too bad. I think it might be better that you don't show up for a while, actually. If you don't mean to upset her, Granny might take it the wrong way. Just let me take care of it, okay? I see. Are you sure? I'm very grateful, though. I'm sorry to make you do this, but could you let the other housekeepers know that they don't need to come for a while either? When Granny feels better, I'll give you all a call. So let's just leave her alone for now. Shimiko-san bowed, then left on her bicycle. Well, there goes that little plot thread. Oh, off into the distance. Anyone who had ever experienced Granny's wrath would understand. Yeah. You know a lot about her then, too. Oh, God. Almost intimately so, like a family, too, so, oh boy. It's not even a whole thing of, like, you're hating them as a stranger, you're just hating them as a person. Oh, boy. Like, from the sound of it, like, even if, like, it was a whole thing of, like, oh, God, even if you were, like, in your, like, stuck in a boarding school for years and then didn't talk, you would still be in contact with contact with Kasai and your parents talking about it and like hearing over things like what's happening to Sozakis, even if they're all not secretive, and you would hear a tiny bit what's going on there, and oh, good God, you would still even know what's like happening, like how people are still acting then, but like you would still be put at an arm's length almost. Oh, I head into Mion's room, set her alarm clock for 2 p.m., and crawled into her bed. I need to recover quickly. I had to be sharp, calm, and cool-headed. School should be out by 2 p.m. Maybe get in touch with Keiichi. I'd have to call him. There would also be a staff meeting at the Ferde Shrine Assembly Hall in the evening. All the leaders of the 3 families, the relatives, and the town council members would gather this meeting. They were all authority figures in Hinamizawa. I'd be tending in place of the hag, who is sick. I'd worry about the rest when I got there. People shouldn't notice that Mia and the hag were missing for a long time. Didn't need to worry, as I had plenty of time. I took the alarm once more, then fell asleep as if someone switched me off. Like a robot. I guess that's some, one small, like, thing right there. Oh boy, oh, the phone call. Man, I'm, like, instead, like, I'm not just trying to think... For everyone watching this, what would you do in this situation, honestly? Because, like, even now, I can't think of a good way even out of this. Even like extending outwards like this, like completely putting like yourself into Shion's shoes, what would exactly you be able to do? Because my mind is completely drawing a blank right now. Besides what she's been doing, and even the whole conversation she's having with Keiichi, honestly. Again, you can even like recontextualize that as not even Mion, who is technically trying to lie to Keiichi and like learn about what's happening there, and slowly off people one by one. It was literally Shion from the very beginning trying to understand what's happening and actually get some help in some way. And that didn't work out very well in the end. And she even warned Keiichi about it too. Like, she kept him alert as well. And it honestly feels like more than anyone else technically has done either. Like, even with the first installment, which, man, even feels weird. Like, I feel a whole mixture of weird emotions now. Just the same way how I felt the ending of the second installment. Because even now, like, the entire purpose of, like, Shan's introduction and, like, her existence with Mion is just to fuddle, I guess, how you should feel about them both. But, like, I know when going through the second installment, I still liked her a lot as a character. And I still do now, even though you recognize that for half of the second installment, it wasn't even, like, you thought it wasn't even really her speaking. And then you thought, like, she was being put underneath, like, she was locked underneath, like, being locked underneath the bunker for days on end, being, like, psychologically tortured. Like, you would only think the first half of the story would be, like, Shion talking to you, like, talking to Keiichi entirely. The small snippets that appeared of her in the third installment. Like, I honestly do like a character there. And then, even though, like, that happened, Mion, like, I technically didn't even like her character, mostly just because of how the first installment ended. And now, even though Keiichi did his absolute best in the situation, trying to figure things out, honestly, even if it was a bit immature and all that, like, even from the sound of it, he did everything, like, the best way he could from his perspective. And yet, whenever he, like, tried to bring stuff up to Mion and all that, or, like, it almost seemed like they would actually talk, Mion would then threaten him. And then all this transpired, and I did not like her at all. And then again, with Reina acting completely maturely, and nothing is wrong with her at all in the second installment, completely. Everything is completely muddled. And that's another reason why I'm actually liking this game so far. And I didn't actually put this feeling down until, I guess, the start of this episode, just thinking about it, before we even started this recording, that I do not like some stories that involve like a giant conspiracy. Like, I've played through several games just to, like, get a feel for it, and I've played some before even doing this whole channel, but never seemed to entirely like it. Most because I didn't have this, I guess, person, I guess, way to put it, this intimate connection, or at least, some emotion behind it. Like, you're just like seeing entire like conspiracy plot, but there's no emotion or like reason to care behind it. And so far, if there's a giant conspiracy for this game, then it's hitting me. And so far, probably this is the one game where a giant conspiracy is happening on a broad scale, which is the one thing I always love, like in more closed-minded, like you can figure things out, like environmental storytelling, mystery solving stuff, and watching mysteries, close circle stuff. A broad mystery game and series is honestly getting me to actually think and making me like so more involved, really trying to think things more involvedly and like even a more smaller scale, like just from all this. It's honestly amazing. Oh boy, is this gonna be so cool by the end. It was so weird going through the first installment and trying to like I guess get a feel for the very beginning. Like, it was the most weirdly surreal feeling. Now we're up to here, and now, oh, good boy, oh golly gee gosh. I'll still talk a lot, though. I'm kind of done with almost. I'm trying to keep things small and light at this point. 2 hour long episodes from just one small chapter. Why not make it 3 for 1? I don't think it's gonna go that long for this. Maybe for the 12th chapter though. Oh boy. Ah, this is Sonozaki. Well, younger one. I don't even know if we actually went past the I don't even think we went past the segment cut off for this chapter, actually. Unless it was hidden by these black screens. Oh, boy. Oh, I pressed spacebar instead, sorry. No, God. Hello. Do you have time to talk right now? Shion? I thought you'd be sleeping in today with a hangover, same as Mion. What? My sis had a hangover? Oh, that's so like her. Keiichi had no idea that the Mion he saw earlier was actually me. He didn't notice when we talked in person. There's no way he would notice on the phone. I never knew that playing 2 roles would be so much fun. Again, get into fucking acting. Become the most famous person in your Yakuza group. Yeah. Even again, I'm, even besides, like, political power from, the Sonozakis, I'm, part of it's Yakuza, too. Shit, even more so for Shion to think about. To feel such enjoyment in this game of life or death, maybe I was getting used to the situation. Maybe my senses have gone numb. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oops, sorry. My parents are waiting for an important call, so I can't talk for too long. What do you need? Well, there's something I want to talk about, but if we can't talk long, I guess that's that. Then how about we meet in person? If you could show me where the library is too, that would be great. Oh, you mean the public library near the station? Oh, yeah, that's fine. I go past on my way to work anyway. Yeah, it all extends out even more from here. I wonder if we actually get to the mayor like going and dying from in this chapter, and Riken, I guess, the ending in the next. We said to meet in Okinomiya. It wasn't easy to get there from Hinamizawa, but I had to hurry. I couldn't run to Keiichi as he was heading there himself. I recall that the key to the hag's motorcycle was in her secret drawer. The hag usually got driven around for public events, but when she had her own errands, she rode her motorcycle. Keiichi, I had assumed, was going to ride his bicycle. I tried to get to Okinomiya before he did. There's also the whole thing of like keeping a spare chain of clothes on her the whole time just to pretend that she's still Mion, and then pretend to be and get out she like go back to be Shion, I guess, in this interaction then. So the second they split up after Oishi appeared, yeah, then she just put on her costume as Mion, just rode back and just waited around. Then the Assembly Hall tried to talk to the mayor then, and death. Yeah. I'm actually gonna be so fucking surprised, honestly, if even this answer arc goes outside of perspectives. And even then, that's just like, holy shit, even more amazing writing. God, fuck. Keiichi arrived quite a bit later than me. Motorcycles are faster, they're all. Oh, that's even so cool to think about. There are hardly any traffic lights to worry about on the way here, either. Well, because middle of school day and all that. Oh my gosh, look, casual clothing. Wow, Mia never keeps her appointments. I mean, honestly. Making my sister the standard for everything will get you in trouble. Hmm? You're a little unsteady. You didn't get much sleep last night either, did you? Was it just because riding the motorcycle? Oh god. Don't try to hide it. You definitely went home from school early. Oh, too bad. I've been at home all day from the beginning. I'm smarter than my sister all. Hey now, I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter. You should finish your errand first. We don't have that much time. We're going to the library, right? Put your books off and we'll talk serious talk. Yeah, thanks. My mom had to return some books by today. Is the library far? No, it's right nearby. I mentioned when we said we didn't have much time. I had to hurry a little. I was just going to talk to him on the phone, but I ended up coming all the way to Okinomiya. To our talk, Keiichi would slowly head back to Hinamizawa on his bicycle. I had to rush back there while making sure I didn't run into him, so I couldn't make it on time for the meeting. And then Oishi showed up, and that was the perfect time to do so, honestly. Oh, it almost worked too good for you. Oh boy, another coincidence. Maybe I could be a little late, but since I needed to hear everything they were going to discuss, I didn't want to be. Oh. Oh god, that's another thing. She wanted to even, oh god, if something bad happened in that meeting too, then there's no way you should even take chances then. Oh god, it's another hurdle. Like, even if like you try to be completely normal, that's insane about everything, then that's just another hurdle to cross that oh god, good god. Mind running crazy, imagination running wild. This was the Shishibone Public Library. It was sizable, filled with a collection of moldy, smelly books. Isn't the library on the second floor, though? And some other government place in the first floor, though? But they did have air conditioning, and it was quiet. It was the perfect place for when you wanted to be alone. After Satoshi-kun disappeared last year, I came here a lot to think about various things. This was where I first met Takano-san. I didn't want to run into her with Keiichi in tow, but then I remembered that she was already dead. Yes. You don't have to worry about that. Wipe the sweat off your brow. You don't have to worry about that anymore. My god. The first floor of the building was occupied by government offices. Oh yeah, I actually remember rereading the conversation of Shion and even Keiichi talking more. The library itself was on the second floor, so we had to walk up a huge staircase to get there. I tasted cool air in my skin as soon as I walked through the automated door. Unlike outside, it was very quiet in here. But yeah, like, what kind of kids want to go to a library just after getting home from school? The room temperature was both comfortable and suitable for books. I could smell the scent of old pages. All libraries smell the same. Keiichi walked up to the return table after he said so. Because it was a weekday, there was hardly anyone around. It really was very quiet. I was going to chat about some ordinary things, and then move on to the main subject. After Keiichi returned the books, I invited him into the inner section of the library. Keiichi knew Mion well, but he didn't know me at all. He showed an interest in our life story. This was exactly where Takano-san told me about the true history of Hinamizawa a year ago. I was going to tell Keiichi about things that were very similar to that. Did God have a sense of irony? Yes. Now that you mention it, that toy store looked like it was managed by relatives as well. Yeah, you tell Keiichi the whole entire thing of politics of your whole family and Yakuza parts. Yeah, like even the I can't remember the exact wording, but like other like politicians were like related to the Sonozakis, maybe not even named, but like still relatives. Does that mean they operate Angel Mort too? I told him the reason why the Sonozaki family was so powerful in this area. I assumed that since Keiichi came from the city, there was a good chance he couldn't even begin to understand how one old family could literally control an entire area. Unless I explained to him how powerful Sonozaki family was, he wouldn't understand what kind of danger it was barreling toward him, and then Oishi came to pick up the slack unintentionally. Well, the family is particularly strong in finance and real estate. Even a lot of members of the Chamber of Commerce industry either have the last name Sonozaki or their relatives. Ah, that was the line I was thinking about. That was the line I was thinking about. There are Sonozakis in the city council and the prefectural assembly too, since they have the Okinomiya area giving them strong electoral support. Wait a minute. This is all escalating pretty quickly. Oh yeah, it's gonna escalate even more behind your back. Your relatives operate shops in downtown Okinomiya, and they're especially strong in finance and real estate? On top of that, a lot of people in the Chamber of Commerce and Industry are relatives, and there are even some elected to local offices. Keiichi counted with his fingers. He was clearly surprised to hear all that about the Sonozaki family. It seemed like he was flexible enough to accept even something that sounded outrageous to him. He was starting to understand things, although slowly. The way he viewed Shion Sonozaki was changing little by little too. That should be enough background information. Now I could go on to explain about Mion Sonozaki, the successor. Then change the subject, like Takano-san did with me. I go on to talk about the curse with Yoshiro-sama and then the series of mysterious deaths, literally just to give him all the context. And again, like, that was the one thing I said before, like, why didn't anyone try to talk about them in the first one? That was the one thing. None of that would have happened if like people actually tried to fucking talk. So then, the Sonozaki family, it's pretty famous in this area? Yep. It sure is crazy, isn't it? A fat man with a cigarette suddenly cut into our conversation. I think it's the exact same line Keiichi did in his own narration too. Oishi? Why was he here? Hello. Good afternoon. Are you on a date today? What I would give to be young again. If you thought we were on a date, then why are you bothering us, Oishi-san? What timing? It couldn't be coincidence. This was planned. I knew this man too well. He was crafty, sly, and clever. His presence here just can't be a coincidence. Did he see us somewhere in town and followed us? But why? Did he need something from me, Keiichi, or perhaps the both of us? From what I can guess, I didn't think it was me that he wanted something from. It was almost like he was trying to keep Keiichi away from me. Oishi was aware I gave false testimony to protect Satoshi-kun last year. Maybe he didn't think he could talk to Keiichi if I was around. Why did Oishi need to talk to Keiichi? It must have been the incident from yesterday. I'm sure there were plenty of plainclothes opposite the festival, so they had to have seen who was last of the victims. In other words, Keiichi and me. And he wants to make sure to get rid of you entirely because even you could see them, he is bad at lying and all that, so have fun. But Oishi knew it was hard to deal with. That's why he was focused on Keiichi at present. He was trying to, hunt, fish for the prey. Yeah, honestly. Oh boy. Why did this show up at a time like this? Maebara-san, right? You're one tough guy. Two-timing the Sonozaki sisters, are you? No, I'm not two-timing anyone. I don't have two watches. Keiichi looked at me, hoping for assistance. He blushed. The way he panicked reminded me of Satoshi-kun. Well, that aside, this isn't going well. Oishi might even start talking about my relationship with Satoshi-kun. I hadn't wanted to, nor did I want Keiichi to have any preconceptions. Oishi took a quick glance at me. His eyes told me something. He was probably talking about things I'd rather not talk about. He's basically telling me to leave or he continue on something that was worse than what they were currently talking about. He didn't use words, but his eyes clearly communicated that anyway. Yeah, Keiichi didn't notice that, so, yeah, he just didn't notice that, or if he even noticed, like, something was going on between the two of them, he couldn't place anyway. Oh, God. Damn that fat weasel. Again, weasel. Someone draw it. I'm sorry, Keiichi-chan. I really do need to get to my job. Huh? Oh, Wait, you do? I realized that I wouldn't achieve anything like this, even if I stayed longer, so I used my part-time job as an excuse to leave. Oishi looked at me and grinned. Damn it. He won today, but I'll win next time. Wait, didn't you have something to talk about today, Shion? Well, yeah. Yep. Well, I'll see you later. Oh, I'll give you a call after I'm done. It'll be okay to call at night, right? Yeah. I'll be okay. Then I'll talk to you later tonight. Bye. Yeah. And I think even, like, when I was going back, when the whole revelation of Mion showing up, I then took her, like, taking things carefully in the questions. Whether it be, like, Mion, like, trying to gauge what happened. Good God. Especially if Mion talked to her, like, Shion before she went missing. She could have figured things out so quickly. But everything's lining up. Everything, like, lines up way better and faster like this, but even the story and game itself already showed, like, they, like, sound the same. And, like, they technically have similar personalities. Literally. Besides, like, a small different beliefs types and all that. Oh, man. The hag's motorcycle had become my primary means of transportation. The next stop was a staff meeting at the Furude Shrine's Assembly Hall. It was easy to imagine how a normal meeting would play out if it were just celebrating the end of Wanto Nagashi. Like, my next question is, actually, how would you, Shion, actually manage to bring, the mayor all the way back to, your house then after that? Because people, like, the mayor said he was going to go straight to his house, like, he was hungry and all that. That's why he would go straight there and not go off any veering paths. Did you promise to make food? Huh. But today's staff meeting was likely to be as strained as the Sonozaki family councils. Yes. The staff meeting was going to deal with the heart of Hinamizawa. I couldn't let my guard down, even for a moment. I rested for a while at the house, then left the meeting. I walked up the long stairs to the Furude Shrine. At the top, I saw some elderly men smoking in front of the hall. Since they had a minor fire a long time ago, it had been made to a non-smoking area. Well, then they're fucking sinning right here. They're gonna be next in the list next year. They're next in the curse. Oh, is that Mion-chan? I have no idea what to give new voices from everyone anymore. I can't even remember the voice I gave for old guy anyway. I just can't remember anymore. There's so many people, so many characters, so many fucking things to think about all at once. Good God. The head of the Kimiyoshi family, Uncle Kimiyoshi, noticed me and waved. He must not have expected Mion to come alone. Normally, it would have been either the hag by herself or Mion tagging along as assistant. Granny's been in a terrible mood since the incident last night. She's been sitting in bed and won't even let me get near her. They all understood how troublesome she was when in a bad mood. They smiled bitterly in sympathy. Oh, so you're here as the Sonozaki family representative then. Has Oreo-san told you anything? Sort of. What did he mean, has Oreo-san told you anything? That line by itself didn't really mean much, but it's pointed. It's pointed. The staff meeting was usually led by the mayor, the head of the Kimiyoshi family. And he asked me, as a substitute for the Sonozaki family head, if I'd heard anything from her. I then realized he was supposed to lead today's staff meeting. No, Kimiyoshi-san. Do I really have to lead the meeting today? According to the ranking order of the family councils, any substitute for the Sonozaki family head is above the Kimiyoshi family head. In other words, I had to lead today's meeting. There's no way I could do that. Nah, don't worry. I'll do it. You can just take a seat, Mion-chan. And if there's something you heard from Oreo-san, just let us know, okay? Kimiyoshi-san, why don't we just get started? Everyone's here now. The smokers put out their cigarettes and went back to the hall. Yeah, stop sinning, you people. And just do your duties, your jobs. Oh, No, this was the room, actually. God, fuck, it wasn't the main house. It was this fucking assembly hall area. God, oh God, Rika could have heard all this here. Oh, good God. Rika would be here too. God damn it. Oh, good God. The tables were set in a horseshoe shape, and I was told to sit next to the chair reserved for the chief. The seat opposite mine was empty. Consider its location, it was probably for the Furude family head, Rika Furude. Where is Rika? But somebody had earlier said that everybody was already here. Either Rika-chan might called in absent, or the empty seat was just a formality. And then the subject of this meeting, I don't think the Fruity family head would even want to attend. But if Rika-chan actually attended, she wouldn't be able to say anything. All she'd usually do at the Sonozaki family councils was draw pictures on a notepad. Were they good pictures, though? Were they adorable pictures? She'll probably end up drawing pictures in this meeting, too. I want to see them. Besides, they probably didn't want her to hear anything unpleasant. In this way, the empty Furude family seat was easily explained then. When everyone was seated, the head of the Women's Association served tea. Wormwood tea's best tea. She gave me an evil look, trying to tell me to help out. I got up and did so. Okay, then. After that, everyone fell quiet. The secretary stood up. Everyone, thank you for coming today in such a short notice, despite your busy schedules. Let's start with a few words from the mayor. Go ahead, please. The floor is all yours. Spotlight's on you. Blinding and blaring. Stop sweating. Okay, not that fucking close. Oh, please excuse me for staying seated. Ken-chan, you stay seated too. Thank you all for coming today. Also, you all did a great job at Watanagashi yesterday. The festival was a great success as usual. There weren't any mishaps. Lots of villagers came, and I believe it went great on the whole. Let me see. How many people was it? According to the Imperial General Headquarters report, approximately 5,000 people showed up. 5,000. I think it's a combination of people from other towns, right? I can't remember, like, what's the population in Hinamizawa? Like, from when I last, I guess, heard about it, or, like, can't think off the top of my head or my gut feeling. It was like a few hundred, or maybe even less so? I'm gonna say there's a few hundred, right? Everyone laughed except me. I hope we'll continue to work together to carry on this tradition. I appreciate your cooperation. Clap, clap, clap. Should I do that? There you go. Just loud applause. An applause with only 8 people doesn't sound so great. Meh. Okay, let's move on to today's proceedings. Kimiyoshi-san will lead the meeting today. Please applaud if you approve. Boo. Thank you. Then with your approval, Mayor Kimiyoshi will take over. Please go ahead. Thank you, Ken-chan. Let's start now. Oh, sorry, could you close the curtains? Everyone closed the curtains nearest to them. The sun was still up. With all the curtains closed, the room became really dark. Suddenly, a lantern was turned on, and everything turned all bloody, and the ritual starts. The village chief explained the details of the incident, as well as what went on with the police. A police vehicle discovered Tomitaki-san's body on its way back to Okinomiya last night. Oishi's special curse unit. The fact there's a curse unit for the police, honestly, is just both hilarious and also kind of sad. That's so goddamn funny, though. More so, my god. Oh, calling in curse unit. We found another one. I repeat, we found another one. My god. Someone get the purifying salt. Oh my god. Oichi's special curse unit was standing by, expecting something to happen for the 5th time, so they responded quickly. Since Tomitaki-san and Takano-san were rarely apart, Oishi got in touch with the neighboring prefectural police departments and asked them to look for her. She might have something to do with his death, but at the same time, we don't know who caused her death, and since she was strangled and put into a burning thing. Huh. As a result, they found a burned body of a woman in the mountains of Gifu Prefecture. The body was then identified as Mio Takano. Considering the circumstances, the police ended up labeling the incident as the 5th of the ongoing series of mysterious deaths. When he finished, there was dead silence. I watched to see who would speak first. Nobody said a thing. I noticed Kimiyoshi-san looking at me. Ah. This is the head of Sonozaki family would speak. Miyan-chan, has Oryo-san said anything about this whole thing? Everyone looked in my direction. I was sure they could see the hag in me. I'm Miyan Sonozaki, acting head of the Sonozaki family. I'm here in place of Oryo, the current head. Thank you for having me. I became Miyan. I tried to become as cold and unfeeling as Miyan I witnessed a year ago. Oh boy. That cold version of Miyan was inside of me. That was me. I was her now. Unfortunately, the curse of Oyashiro-sama has come to pass for the 5th time. This is deeply regretful. Everyone was held captive by my words. Yeah, that was the other thing, actually, thinking about it. Takano in her notes in the second installment also said like, her family thought only Mia had the talent for it, but from her own perspective, she had thought both the same talent. I think it's coming to fruition here then, too. Oh, boy. This is probably going to go even better since she has not taught or learned anything about politics or was grown to be the successor, and if she pretends successfully to be Mia in this situation, and since no one else bats an eye that they think it's anyone else, then she has the talent then, and she would just, oh good god, again, bad life situation. I wasn't a little girl anymore. The hag was speaking through my mouth now. They all heard me and trembled in fear. Does anyone know why the curse happened again this year? After my question, everyone whispered to each other. I will tell you. It was because they broke the rule of the ritual storehouse and desecrated the sacred ground within. How dare they? A few elderly men got up and yelled. The fools! I can't believe this! They deserve to be killed! Doesn't help. At all. Oh, Yashiro-sama, please calm your anger. Oh my, how did it happen? Yashiro-sama. This is why we hate outsiders! They just don't think. They're just too stupid. I got what they deserved. It was their own fault. Wait, is Mio Takano, like, an outsider? I mentioned that before, but, like, was she an outsider? Did she live here? Like, what was it? No. Because, like, well, in the very first installment, they did a tour guide, and, like, they knew everyone. It's probably because of a small thing, but did Mio Takano actually live here? Or did she live outside of town? Did she just, did she only just, commute to Hinamizawa just to work at the clinic? My god. They got what they deserved. It was their own fault. The angry old men yelled even as they trembled in fear. Their sudden change scared me more than a little. Even Uncle Kimiyoshi, who's usually so gentle and sweet, became like a demon of war, cursing those who broke the rule of the ritual storehouse. Yeah, they'll probably do it. Oh my god. It became like a raging ocean inside the assembly hall. Their yells spun about like a whirlpool. They roared, crashed, and howled. Even while doing nothing but watch, I could feel myself turning pale. Mion threatened me yesterday. Kasai had been shocked this morning. What I saw before me was similar to that. Even the sweet and gentle Uncle Kimiyoshi was saying they deserved to die. I was fearful of the sudden change in those elderly men. So either that what she said to Keiichi about Kimiyoshi, like, smiling and all that, maybe, like, that was, probably a lie, or, like, it's favoritism, that's what it is. It kind of just feels like just going through all this, like, all the answers are just coming so cleanly in with me. Like, I can't tell if there's any, like, evidence or clues I missed in the second stone, which points to all this happened that was Shin at the very beginning. Because obviously the whole thing with Satoshi, like Shin having a crush on him, like, is the biggest, like, probably clue of this whole bunch. So, yeah, I wonder if there's a clear way to actually, like, pinpoint definitively that it was Shion from the very beginning, installment. Because the very second, like, I guess that last piece of evidence of, like, the taser came up and I just got reminded of that, I based everything already figured out for me. All the evidence was there. I feel like I would understand it unless it was that well hidden, honestly. Wonder if there actually was something, like, lying in wait the entire time. I was fearful of the sudden change in those elderly men. More than anything, the fact that they all believe that those people deserve to die for trespassing is what terrified me. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't just that, of course. The real thing I was scared of was that I was one of the people they wanted dead. Yeah, have fun with that. Like, even the people you cared about and who cared about you for a bit unknowingly are calling for your fucking head too. Oh, good god. It's like a whole thing just making her feel worse, even though she's trying to figure things out on her own. In other words, it was almost like they were telling me to die of the curse. Yeah. Oh god, this is the whole thing all over again. If they were to find out I snuck into the ritual storehouse, it was very possible they would strangle me in the spot. Actually, they might not kill me that easily. Oh, good God. By then, I was certain the people in this room were true believers in Oyashiro-sama, just like the hag. They wouldn't hesitate to murder whoever made Oyashiro-sama angry on his behalf. Even if they didn't care about killing themselves, they would pretend they didn't see anything. That was the entire culture for Hinamizawa too. Like, even before this, so it even makes sense. Like, even if, like, Shion is completely dead wrong about everything she's been going on about this entire time since since tasing Mion and Oreo, I can't fault any of it. Like, I can't even see any way of, like, anything of reasoning was wrong at all so far. Yes, not even if my head was cut off right in front of them. Everybody here would act in collision and say I never attended today. If they all testified they waited and I didn't show, I'd be demoned away. It would be far too easy for them to raise someone and have them disappear. There was no mistake. The people linking the hag and the curse were definitely here at this meeting. I continued speaking. I was Mion Sonozaki. I was on the side responsible for the curse. Therefore, at that moment, I didn't need to worry about anything. Nobody could tell the difference between Mion and me, after all. That's what would keep me safe. It would keep me alive. Please, be silent. Hey, quiet down. Uncle Kimiyoshi held me to quiet everyone, but his tone was violent. He really scared me. If he was always this way to Shion, always, and then only seeing this now, that makes things even fucking worse. Everyone gradually became silent. In fact, it was 4 people stuck into the storehouse. 2 more remain. People once more became restless upon hearing that, but Uncle Kimiyoshi yelled at them again and they settled down. Toмотaki-san and Takano-san were old enough to be made responsible for their own poor judgment. The result, the curse of Oyashiro-sama fell upon them immediately, but the other 2 were simply children. The curse is yet to fall upon them, but there will be some kind of punishment. Everyone stayed quiet that time. They had all turned genuinely pale, trying to miss a word I said. After all, they were thinking the kids I mentioned could be their own relatives, or even grandchildren. They wanted to know who they were, to put their minds at ease. The other 2 who snuck into the ritual storehouse was Shion Sonozaki and Keiichi Maebara. I could feel the air getting drier. It was so dry I almost felt like it was going to start making a crackling noise. And actually, the worst thing is, even though this second installment all happened, Keiichi wasn't targeted by anyone else, or at least that he noticed. Yet in the first installment, whether he was paranoid or not, he honestly felt like he was almost ran over by someone in a white van, and that same, like, car was outside his house the first installment. I believe so. I need to make sure that just in case, but I'm pretty sure it was. That's the vibe I'm getting. So why is it that the second installment was the one where he definitely did something wrong in some capacity, but he almost saw nothing wrong happening around him? But the one where he basically did nothing wrong except for talk to a detective, and only that, just learning what's happening, is what drive people to, like, act this way to him. Even the sound of it, even again, like, the whole Keiichi's insane theory doesn't make any sense either, just in thinking about it even more. There's just remnants of it everywhere that he's actually telling the truth, but the one thing that proved that he's not insane is, like, gone. So someone had to manipulate with that fact. And if there was no supernatural stuff at all, someone had to come around, know about Keiichi killing the uncle, taking the body and then in there maybe to help him, or literally just they want to do something with it, or something like that, and just toss it away. Maybe it was a way of, like, the whole town helping out with him in the 3rd installment, especially with how everyone acted. But even again, with how everyone, like, started, like, pointedly looking towards Keiichi in at the main place, whether it's him talking and all that, they pointedly, like, were trying to egg him to like be part of, like, an alibi for the whole entire course, whoever that weird mysterious Keiichi version was. And the fact the uncle was still technically quote unquote alive, it's still weird. Still fucking weird. It was so dry it almost felt like it was going to start making a crackling noise. Shion Sonozaki has already... Couldn't even hear the old people breathe. Took a quick peek at Uncle Kimiyoshi, who's sitting next to me. He'd adored Shion as if she were his own granddaughter, but she had been demoned away. I wanted to see how distressed and sad he looked. I saw his face. I felt a sensation in my back, so my skin itself was making a crackling noise. He didn't even have an expression on his face. Uncle Kimiyoshi adored me. I loved him, and I thought he loved me too. That was why I expected him to be saddened to learn that I met with such a cruel fate. What was I thinking? Memory of his warm smile shadowed inside of me. There's no way describing the fear I experienced in that moment, in mere words. He suddenly changed into someone I didn't even recognize. Uncle Kimiyoshi noticed me looking at him and spoke. What about Keiichi Maebara? Not yet. I had to take a deep breath to regain my composure. All four stuck into the ritual storehouse will suffer the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Keiichi Maebara is no exception. Chilling looks. Cruel looks. Emotionless looks. Shrewd looks. The looks of people who were about to snap. I could feel the demons chewing my words while they stared at me with their sharp eyes. I could see some of them sticking their snake-like tongues in and out. It's like, I don't believe it's a Samazaki group, but like, definitely how she thinks it's someone close by. I could see flames in some of their eyes. They were memorizing the names of the intruder that the curse had yet to fall upon. And so the meeting went on. We were told not to tell the police too much, to report where they asked us, and to hold another meeting whenever something of significance happened. Something unexpected took place. We were to get in touch with either the head of the Kimiyoshi family, or the head of the Sonozaki family for instructions on what to do. With those closing remarks, the meeting was over. You pass through. And then here's where the mayor goes missing. It was already getting dark outside. Being in a valley surrounded by mountains, once the sun went down in Hinamizawa, it got dark quickly. Even if it was hot during the day, it cooled down quickly at night. The elderly people said goodbye to each other and left their bicycles, on their motorcycles, or in their cars. Uncle Kimiyoshi waved them goodbye and started to head home himself. I called out to him. Kimiyoshi-san? You have a plan to do this? I called him Kimiyoshi-san instead of Uncle Kimiyoshi. He stopped. No, I don't have anything planned. Can you stop by my house? Does Oreo-san want to see me? Yes. She wants to talk to you about something in person. Okay, I'll stop by. Oh boy, she actually give them the chance to talk there too, and like even then, like doesn't work. God, it just feels like that's gonna go on. She gives lots of different people different chances, and yet in her eyes, like it feels like it doesn't. They didn't pass at all. Oh, good God. And that's paranoia talking, TA2. Uncle Kimiyoshi arrived at the Sonozaki house. He often came to the house to have secret meetings with the hag, so he wasn't suspicious at all. I invited Uncle Kimiyoshi into the living room. I served him a cup of tea and told him I was going to fetch the hag. I left the room and killed some time down the hallway. Granny will be here after she gets dressed. She might take a little while. Oh, that's okay. I'll just wait. Uncle Kimiyoshi relaxed as he sipped his cup of tea. I sat next to him. I think she wants to talk to you about Shion. I mentioned my name and watched for his reaction. Uncle Kimiyoshi looked so grim. I couldn't even tell if he heard me. I decided to continue speaking until he reacted in some way. Yeah, oh god, he keeps giving people chances, and yet, oh god. You remember the incident from last year with Shion, yes? She became friendly with people of the Hojo family. She was forgiven after ripping out her nails, wasn't she? Yes. 3 nails. Uncle Kimiyoshi folded his arms and thought for a while. Where is Shion-chan now? In the basement. How is she doing? Uncle Kimiyoshi sounded worried. When I heard that, I felt relieved that Uncle Kimiyoshi was on my side. His anger in the assembly hall was just an act, right? She's been crying. Mion-chan, tell me, what is Oreo-san going to do with Shion-chan? She hasn't told me any details. As you know, Granny becomes awfully quiet when she's truly furious. going to the ritual storehouse, huh? Furthermore, it's her own granddaughter. It's a tough decision to make. Uncle Kimiyoshi thought that the hag must be unsure what to do with Shion. Yeah, but, like, wasn't there whole that... Well, it's just a rumor, but, like, it still sticks in my mind of him, even Oreo, like, put her hands around Shion's, like, neck as an infant. What do you think? What do you think will happen to Shion? I'm sure it'll be far more than 3 nails this time. Knowing how Oreo-san is, she won't just hold back just because it's her granddaughter. Actually, she might even be more harsh, especially because they're related. Yes, she did go into the ritual storehouse. That's not something that can be forgiven so easily. Indeed. It's sacred after all. But in a way, maybe it's not fair to Shion. She has been away from Hinamizawa, as you know. I'm sure she knew she wasn't supposed to trespass in the ritual storehouse, but she didn't know how forbidden it was. Yeah, that's true. Poor Shion-chan. Other than the tattoo on my back, how would you tell the difference between Shion and me? There isn't one. There's no point distinguishing between me and Shion in the first place. Interesting you brought that up, because even then you were about to show off your tattoo, but Rain, of all people, stopped you. She completely bought into the fact that you were Mion. It was anyone to literally not pull the wool over Reina's eyes, it would be you. That's honestly amazing too. Ugh, my god. Twins are proof of bad luck. One should be eliminated as soon as they are born. Such as the family precept. The hag actually put her hands around my neck right after I came out of the womb. Yeah. That's how the story went, at least. In the end, the hag didn't kill me, but instead pretended I didn't exist. She forced herself to call one of us Mion, the other Shion. She adored Mion and hated Shion. Yeah. My sister and I never understood why we had to go through that. We didn't care who was Mion or Shion. So one day we came up with an idea. We decided to share the joy Mion experienced and the sadness Shion experienced. We often switched places. We were both Mion. At the same time, we were both Shion. Oh, and that dragon tattoo was put onto Mion just to prove definitively who was who then? Oh god. Adults around us try to put different clothes on us or style our hair differently so they can tell us apart. That was nonsense. No matter what they did to us, all we had to do was switch places, and nobody could tell us apart. Finally, they decided that we switched places because we were always together. On that day, Shion got to go to the amusement park. Since then, we've been separated. They forced that to happen, just like that. That's even worse. I don't know which is worse, honestly, if they being sat down and told hey, we're separating you from your family just because we don't want you, we don't want to confuse between the two of you, and we want to treat one of you differently. And then they just do that and send you Shion away to my boarding school. Or literally the fact they try to play up more innocent, hey, you want to go to the amusement park, Shion? Yeah, let's go! And then you were separated ever since. I don't know which is worse, honestly. I honestly don't know what's worse. Mion-chan, can't even imagine what happened to Shion. Whatever his granny decides to do, I'm not in a position to say anything about it. She should even listen to her relatives. You're right. That's something Oreo-san needs to work on. If Shion wasn't Shion Tsunazaki, she would have been dead a long time ago. I can't even begin to imagine what kind of punishment might be equal to death. Even if she isn't killed, she'll probably never see the light of day again. In other words, she'll be demoned away. Mion-chan. Does Shion-chan regret what she has done? Yes. In response, Uncle Kimiyoshi tapped my shoulder and then slapped his own chest. He smiled reliably. Don't worry. If Shion-chan feels bad about what she has done, she won't be demoned away. Leave it to me. Really? I'm sure Oreo-san will be furious to hear me say anything, but I won't give up. I'll explain to her that Shion-chan regrets what she's done, and I'll beg for her forgiveness. Tears began to fall from my eyes. I knew it. Uncle Kimiyoshi was my ally after all. So what prompted you to switch minds? My next immediate thought is, whether you let her, hang back. He then started talking without realizing, and then went completely back in his word. Immediately so. He said he would forgive Shion. He was my ally. I was so very happy. Are you sure? Are you sure she won't be demoned away, like Satoshi Hojo-kun was last year? Uncle Kimiyoshi smiled reliably again and told me. He was a brat of the Hojo family. This Shion from the Sonozaki family we're talking about here. Of course she'll be forgiven. Oh, God. Huh? A brat of the Hojo family? Are you talking about Satoshi-kun? Last year's victim? Is this actually how everyone thought of them, like, the kids actually being abused? They thought he was a brat just from being abused. I can understand why they would hate the aunt and uncle after all that, especially about how they describe the aunt being immediately hostile, like, towards everyone, and like making an inverse cycle. Like, she was thinking everyone hated her, and then everyone hated them in turn. Even then, even like, she actually, like, the aunt was right thinking about it, but no one made it apparent to her that they technically did hate the Hojo family. Doesn't even matter what it was, actually. Either that or literally how the aunt acted. Everyone associated that, like, just what she did to the whole entire bloodline? Are you fucking kidding me? Brad, the Hojo family. Are we talking about Satoshi-kun? Last year's victim? Those Hojo people. They were traitors who tried to sell out the whole village. Of course, got demoned away. He was a Hojo after all. Huh? 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 The Hojo people should all be cursed. No wonder. Only people like them get demoned away. She's not trying to be okay. What won't happen to someone like her? Uncle? Didn't Shion take care of that Satoshi-kun last year? Wasn't he supposed to be forgiven? Take care of that? What do you mean? Well, remember, the 3 nails. She removed 3 of her nails. Kasai-san, Uncle Ishiro, and then Satoshi-kun. 3 people. This is literally just her asking straight as one final chance, honestly. She removed 3 nails for 3 people. Huh? So that was why it's 3 nails, huh? What? Oh my god. Wasn't that the significance of those 3 nails? Yeah, you're right. There were 3 people involved, hence the 3 nails. I heard that too. But what? Kasai-san, Yoshiro-san, and Shion-chan. That makes 3. Oh my fucking good god! What? What? Huh? What? I endured excruciating pain. The first was my left pinky, then the ring finger, and then the middle finger. People held me down so I couldn't move, but I endured it. I had to endure 3 nails. I didn't know which nail was for Satoshi-kun. My middle finger was for Satoshi-kun. I had to endure it until the middle finger was done so that Satoshi-kun would be forgiven. That was why I endured. Even Mion said afterwards, everything was forgiven. Huh? 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 Mion, didn't you say Satoshi-kun was forgiven? Didn't you? And that's what led to her to, like, to torture her. Oh god. That's what I heard from you. I think that's what I heard, right? Or did I? Huh? Huh? I felt the air move. There shouldn't have been a breeze in that room, but I felt it anyway. The cool air stroked the back of my neck. That was when my true self stood right behind me and nodded. You're putting it as your true self. Oh no. Although there was no wind, my hair billowed. The burning wickedness buried deep inside my eyes became visible. Why do you think Satoshi Hojo-kun got demoned away? Huh? Satoshi-kun's parents did in fact try to sell out the village. They deserved the curse of Oyashiro-sama. But Satoshi-kun was simply their son. What has he done? Mion-chan? I'm asking you what kind of crime Satoshi-kun committed. You said earlier that he deserved to be demoned away because he was born to the Hojo family. What has he done to deserve being demoned away? Kimiyoshi didn't know what to say to the sudden question. He seemed dismayed. I didn't hear her say it, but I know. It was Oryo Sonozaki's decision. She decided that the curse of Oyashiro-sama would fall upon all the Hojos. Wait, Mion-chan. That's not true. Didn't she decide that? No, she didn't. The curse of Oyashiro-sama falling upon the Hojo family. I do remember talking something like that, but we never decided that. Nobody did. Then why did you say because he was one of the Hojos earlier? Sorry, Mion-chan. That was... You know, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. That's just it. Anything that happens to the Hojo family is the curse. As long as someone has the Hojo name, nobody cares what happens to that person. The idea is spread like a virus amongst the villagers. It didn't matter if Satoshi-kun did anything or not. Because he was a Hojo, he was filthy, huh? Infection of idea is the entire problem. And you all believed in the idea. You couldn't even think straight anymore. I can't forgive you. I can't let someone like you exist. Oh boy, what has he done? He hasn't done anything. He's a Hojo after all. What kind of crime is that? Why did the curse fall upon him? What kind of crime has he committed? That just skipped the text over. Oh my god. People like you corner Satoshi-kun and his family. Poor Satoshi-kun. Wah! Kimiyoshi's upper body bent backward and fell to the floor. That was that. Oh, good god. My stun gun back in my pocket. Sorry, Shion. What was that you just said? Apparently Takano-san Tomitaki-san died last night. Takano-san was found burned to death. Oh boy, and I'm just wondering... Oh, she, like, was almost going... she felt like... She seemed like a bit crazy when, the whole topic of Sadako and the Hojos came up. Sadako, like, she described Sadako was cursed. Oh. Apparently Takano-san Tomitaki-san died last night. Takano-san was found burned to death. Tomitaki-san was... Well, it looked like a suicide. I found out this morning. My father talking to a relative on the phone about it. They thought Keiichi didn't know anything about what happened at the festival last night. Of course not getting reported by the media. That's how it was in the past, too. Keiichi insists that unless he heard about it in the news, it couldn't be real. The investigations to the series of mysterious deaths are done in secret now. Of course I didn't hear about it in the news. I hear the mayor and several important politicians from the Sonozaki family put all the pressure they could on the police. You mean their deaths are going to be dealt with in total secrecy? That's how it is. Of course, the police are still investigating. That's being performed in secret too, though, so I hear the investigation itself is very restricted in what it can and can't do. You could essentially say they're interfering with a police investigation. I can't believe this. People died, and yet they're dealing with everything in secret. If we break it down further, it means that no matter who dies the night of Wanton Nagashi, it won't go public. That's the biggest pile of bullshit I've ever heard. Keishan, remember how I said before that the villagers could be the ones carrying out Oyashiro-sama's curse? That's what I mean. At some point, a tradition was created here in Hinamizawa, where every year, you're allowed to kill someone the night of Wanton Nagashi. Yes, that's the truth about the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, also known as Oyashiro-sama's curse. On the day of Wanton Nagashi, 2 people will be killed. The perpetrators are using the curse of Oyashiro-sama as an excuse to kill one victim, making them disappear. That's where the curse of Oyashiro-sama takes place. That's what happens in Hinamizawa, and that's what happens with the curse. Makes sense, but, like, again, what would be the motive then for Tomitaki and Takano besides the storehouse, from the sound of it? Like, they heard about it, I guess, but, like, they died the same exact night? How did someone find out about that? Especially when Keiichi didn't alert them to their presence. Was someone actually watching out? That's what happens in Hinamizawa, and that's what happens with a curse. What Kimiyoshi said is all true. Infecting everyone with the idea that the enemy from the damn conflict deserved to die was the root of all this. That was a system of vague commands used in the Sonozaki family, created by its head, Oryo. One thing that must be mentioned about that command system is that the person giving the orders, the one executing them, didn't need to interact in any way. Though Oryo was the commander, she never gave actual orders, which muddies things even more worse, actually, thinking about it even more. That was even demonstrated in the 4th chapter, too. She, says something very slyly and just hopes that whoever hears it, or, whoever gets the message, understands what she says. And then they carry it out. Oh, God. She only had to expect something to happen. Every single one of the family council members around her would want to satisfy the expectation of giving the chance. They didn't have to be proactive about satisfying it. They could be passive, too. When the chance arose, anyone who knew Orio's intentions could potentially become the one to execute her orders. Therefore, Oreo would never know who actually executed her order, and none of the relatives knew it either. If they all knew things would just conclude just as Oreo wanted, they could assume it was one of their own who did it for her. But by this point, then, that mean we would need to, somehow get closer to figuring out, at least hearing more about who the other people were around at the table of I guess for the assembly meetings would be. But by this point, everyone who would overhear these orders is either people we don't even know too intimately about, just the fact that they exist. There's 8 people, I'm assuming either including or without Shion and Kimiyoshi. There's just 8 people in total in that meeting. So if it literally is someone at the table, it's only 8 possible people, but we don't have any details about any of them, honestly. And the rest of the leaders, technically the 3 families, are dead, or we can just assume they're not the ones who did it, technically speaking. They were probably the root cause of it, but not exactly the killer, if we believe that. But still, the whole meth head guy again doesn't make quite much sense, even trying to think of him. He definitely heard something about the crime, he definitely was around, or someone told him about it, and he confessed to it some way for some reason or another. It wouldn't make sense even for even this from this group. Even I didn't believe it before. Even this all went down, and I don't believe it even more now. And they would someone among this entire A group people would ever try to both make sure that Satoshi runs away, and also at the same time make up a person to take the fall and get the heat off his back. I don't believe that. It doesn't make any sense either. Ugh. More fuddling. But they all knew things would conclude just as Oreo wanted, and they could assume it was one of their own who did it for her. This passive support system was thoroughly effective, and spread all over the village. Its ties become even tighter to the damn conflict. Yep. Anyone could be the one to execute Oreo's orders. Therefore, everyone supported each other, especially because of all the discrimination around the town and all that. Everyone just banded together even more. And every time any kind of scapegoat anyone proposed, everyone immediately would jump against them and jump on a different side. If someone did something, then the others would try to satisfy Oreo's expectation in different ways. For example, they come up with false evidence or otherwise passively interfere with the investigation. Even if they didn't know exactly who they were protecting, they'd still work together to protect whoever it was. Yes, I finally figured out how it all worked. Phrased in a more organized manner, it goes as follows. The system of killing 2 people who are unwanted by the village each year required 3 elements. The first element was a region of solidarity. It was created during the long and unique history of Hinamizawa. The villagers' bonds became even tighter during the dam conflict. That was one of the conditions for this place to have a curse. It was an element that was already in the region, not one that could be created. The next element was having the same moral standards. This is a very important element, as the curse wouldn't have happened without it. Also, this element was created by Oreo Sonozaki herself, and that was why she could claim that the system was established by her own will. Having the same moral standards means that everyone everywhere acknowledges the same enemy. Yeah. And even from the sound of it, even Oreo, like, from the third, like, when Satoshi went missing, did a whole, like, small, I guess, different small snippets of, like, what's happened. She exactly wasn't surprised. Like, not even the whole, like, it seemed like she knew more about what happened. That's what it felt like then. Even when everyone in the village joined together, it would be meaningless if they all didn't know exactly who the enemy was. During the dam conflict, Oreo Sonozaki made the identity of the enemy very clear to everyone. They couldn't just say they were going against the dam construction and that the government was their enemy. That wasn't clear enough. The government didn't really pinpoint who the enemy was. But Oreo made enemies out of the construction site itself, and therefore its manager. She chose targets that the villagers could see with their own eyes. They were clear and easy to understand. The villagers acknowledged that everyone at the dam construction site was their enemy, and the construction site manager was the enemy commander. Using the same method, she labeled one after another as an enemy of the village, practically cataloging a list of enemies to print into the villagers' minds. Earlier, I had used the term infecting for this phenomenon. It does apply a lot. Those infected by this idea were the people unconsciously given the orders to commit murder. The infection spread across the village when all of Hinamizawa's residents acknowledged the same enemy. That's when Hinamizawa itself became a murderer. Oreo to combine those two elements, a solidarity region, and having the same moral standards. What's the third? Let's let the enemy spread the notion throughout the village. Law would normally have punished both the one who committed the crime and the one who gave the order. Oreo's system didn't require an order at all. Oreo just had to become concerned that an enemy she had pre-selected. That alone wouldn't cause the curse to take place. Oreo's concern was like a safety device, and even when the safety device was off, the curse wouldn't occur unless there was a finger to pull that trigger. The last necessary element was to set a date for execution. That's already clear enough at all this. The night of Wanta Nagashi. The night to venerate Oyashiro-sama, the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. On that night, the curse of Oyashiro-sama falls upon two enemies of the village, and they disappear. Everyone in the village acknowledged that as fact. In other words, the same incident took place in any of the other 364 nights of the year. It would be nothing other than a murder case. But if it happened on the night of Wanta Nagashi, then it would transform into the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The idea that villagers are allowed to kill their enemies on the night of Wanta Nagashi had infected them. The villagers were the cells of this huge creature called Hinamizawa, and each cell would be taught who the enemy was. The set day was basically a green light for whoever was in the best position to kill the enemy. That was the truth of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Therefore, the one who actually killed Satoshi-kun isn't my enemy. The one who set up this murder system, and the one who named Satoshi-kun's family as the enemy, is my enemy. To use a broader definition, Hinamizawa itself, the very system of Oyashiro-sama's curse, is my enemy. I already killed the hag, the one who designed the system. Kimiyoshi, the one whose job it was to infect the villagers of the system, was already in my hands. Just to find out who else is involved, and how much. It's like pulling a weed while being very careful not to break its roots. I announced that Keiichi Maebara was one of the people who snuck into their shrine storage. Yeah, I'm probably thinking about it, honestly. Would there even be a way to, like, say it wasn't him, or, like, say it was someone else, or, like, make up, like, it would not make any sense at all, actually, from, say, like, oh, we identified two people, but, we don't know what the other two are. That wouldn't make any sense, and it'll break your cover even more. You just had to announce both yourself and him. You had to, it feels like. I was certain the fact had already spread through the underside of the village. In other words, Keiichi Maebara was an object of the curse of Oyashiro-sama now. Takano-san, Tomotaki-san were found dead, had been killed in gruesome ways. That was the curse of Oyashiro-sama. In that case, they could demon away two more people as sacrifices to calm the anger of Oyashiro-sama. The set date for the curse is already over. But just like what happened to Satoshi-kun, Demoning away was allowed a little extra time. Something would happen to Keiichi Maebara within a few days. I'd wait patiently, careful not to let my enemy simply take Keiichi Maebara, my bait. Keiichi had been yelling on the other end of the phone for some time. He kept yelling he didn't want to go to the ritual storehouse to begin with. Oh, you were just blocking all them out, the whole thing out of him, blaming you. He claimed something violent by Takano-san and me. He shouldn't be in any danger because of that, he said. He's feeling a sense of crisis and tension. This is gonna work. The livelier the bait, the easier it is to spot. Why the hell did you do that? I don't have anything to do with this. What will you do? What are you gonna do, damn it? How are you gonna take responsibility for this? Huh? Hey, are you listening? Shut up. I've heard enough of your pitiful tears. I hung up the phone. There's no point talking to him when he got like that. Besides, I achieved my goal, which was to make him realize the danger awaiting him. Oh boy. I took a deep breath, then called the house the village chief. Hello? Kamiyoshi residence? This is Sonozaki. So? Did you find the mayor? Oh, it's you, Mion-chan. We've been calling everyone, but no luck. We can't find him. I don't know who else to call. I wonder where he is. We've called a few places too, but nothing. I talked to Granny, and she says we should have the youth group look for him. At this time of day? Besides, we aren't even sure if he's really missing. It's right after Wanta Nagashi. She just thinks we should be cautious. If the youth group can't find him, then we should call the police first thing in the morning. We'd rather not get the police involved unless we really have to, though. Did Oreo really say that? Yes. If you don't believe me, I'll have her get on the phone. Oh, no. I understand. I like how literally just like, that's actually a tactic I started thinking of using if I ever had to. Oh my god. Like, if, like, you don't believe me? I can get someone who actually can do it for me, bluffing. Wow, god, it works so well. Manipulation tactics, 101. Use it wisely, use it for good. Okay, we'll gather the group and look for him. If they can't find him, we'll call the police in the morning. Please call the leader of the youth group then. I'll be right over in Granny's place. Thank you. I'll get everyone together right away. Okay. See you later. The youth group had gathered at the Furry Shrine. They were going to try to find the mayor. I also had to go, in the absence of the hag. Just to be mean, I stopped by the underground torture room to let the mayor know that I was headed to the Furry Shrine to search for him. Incidentally, according to the tab in the keychain, this underground torture room was actually called the Underground Storehouse for Ritual Implements. That's still funny. I think that was mentioned before. At some point, I can't remember. I do want to know where that actually was mentioned now. This was the man who was yelling that whoever trespassed in the Ritual Storehouse should be killed. Although it was an underground Ritual Storehouse, he was there now, atoning for what he had done. It was pretty ironic. Maybe I was the only one who felt that way, though. How are you doing, Uncle Kamiyoshi? Clink. Kamiyoshi didn't say a word, but he made noise to the chain. Everyone's making such a fuss because they can't find you. Your family called me, so I suggest they gather the youth group to look for you. I'm heading over there now. Was this mean or what? Kamiyoshi can only make noise to the chain. Couldn't even express any emotion other than anguish. Is the chain too short? Why not make it longer every time you give me an answer to a question? If it's even a little longer, you'll feel better. Kimiyoshi's hands were tied behind his back with a tight wire. He was wearing a leather collar with a chain, which was strapped tightly around his neck, too. The collar's chain was on a pulley attached to the ceiling, with the chain pulling him up toward it. Oh, God. The chain was very short and pulled very tight. Kamiyoshi had to stand on tiptoes to be able to breathe. Alright, then. We're going this imagery. And this all happened in the second installment then, too. Good, oh my god. Happened the second fucking installment. All underneath this. He had been like that for almost an hour already. He was already exhausted. If I left him overnight, he'd probably end up hanging himself. You told me earlier that you didn't know, but I'll ask you one more time. Please, tell me anything you know about Satoshi Hojo-kun. Oh, sorry. You can't even talk, can you? I'll loosen the chain a little while we chat then. I turned the pulley just a little to loosen the chain that was pulling on Kimiyoshi's neck. His heels finally touched the ground, relieving the pressure in his muscles. I really don't know, Xianshan. I really don't. Don't you even know if he's dead or alive? I really don't know anything. Well, I guess that's how the curse system in Hinamizawa works then, huh? It's possible you really don't know anything. Okay then, I'll change the question. As the head of the Kimiyoshi family, I would like you to tell me what you think has happened to Satoshi-kun. Is Satoshi-kun dead or alive? He didn't know what to say. If he said he didn't know, I'd tighten the chain and leave the room. That would be like a death sentence for him. But all I said was that I wanted him to speak as the head of the Kimiyoshi family. I didn't ask him to tell the truth. But he didn't know what to say to avoid souring a mood and to get me to loosen the chains around him. He's obviously trying to figure out a way to make me extend the chain. I've heard a rumor that he may be alive. Oh, about him going to Tokyo in a bullet train, right? The police have seen him in Tokyo. Or something like that. Oishi had told me that Satoshi-kun had been witnessed getting in a bullet train heading to Tokyo in Nagoya Station. The police didn't know if that really happened. What became of Satoshi-kun after that? Like, it makes sense he would try to lie to, like, make sure all the to make sure he doesn't get killed or injured like that, but I don't know how to feel about any of this right now. Yeah, because just kind of they all kind of figured like it's been like someone around them, or even like one of them is the cause behind each individual death, but not directly. I don't know how to feel about any of it. Therefore, this is simply a random assertion of Kimiyoshi's. Hey, head of the Kimiyoshi family? What would be the point in letting one of the cursed family members live after going through the trouble of making him disappear? The point in letting one of the cursed family members live, going through the trouble of making him disappear. I don't think there's any reason for that. Besides, who gave you this information? I was in close contact with Oishi for a while, but he never mentioned it to me. Uncle? If you're just saying that to make me happy, it's not gonna work. You know that, don't you? I each of the pulley controlling the chains around Kimiyoshi. That act alone sent him panicking as he feared them tightening once more. Sorry. I'm not trying to make you angry, Shion-chan. I'm sorry. I don't have time for this. I'm simply asking to help me look for Satoshi-kun, that's all. I know that. I'll answer you. Took my hand off the pulley. Seeing that, Kimiyoshi began making loud groaning noises to try and show he was thinking hard. Be frank with me. Do you think he's alive or dead? I think... You shouldn't think he's alive. That figures. There's no point letting him live, right? I agree with you. I didn't really mean anything too deep by it, but what I said truly scared Kimiyoshi. The police think he ran, using the money he saved to buy Sadako's birthday present, because he was the main suspect of the aunt's murder. What do you think about that? Well, I heard the culprit was some kind of drug addict. What do you think about that, then? Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I believe Satoshi-kun is the culprit. The drug addict was probably a decoy Grandma arranged. I suspected as much. That guy appeared out of nowhere. Didn't understand at the time. So he was a decoy. Pretty sure. Why do you think that, though? The police were investigating the case, and Satoshi-kun was their primary suspect, wasn't he? He was gonna be demoned away. She didn't want the police to continue the investigation, I guess. Well, there's that, I guess. What Kimiyoshi just said is very interesting. He's perfectly correct. If the police continue the investigation, it would complicate things for whoever demoned away Satoshi-kun. Therefore, the head came with a decoy in order to bring an end to the investigation. But fabricating a suspect can't be that easy, don't you agree? The only person who can do things like that is Oryo-san. I knew Grandma was very powerful in the understood Hinamizawa. Never knew she was that powerful. Meant to psychologically manipulate someone like that, or like imply for someone who is good with that to do that. Or would they even be able to do that? How would they even be able to find someone like that who fits that criteria then? Someone who's easily manipulatable. The only person I can think of who would even have any kind of record, or any kind of hospital, like anyone who probably even had that same guy put into any other medical registry, like, to have a trail and then, manipulate the guy, would be someone who's in medical fields. I'm still not letting him go. I'm still not letting him go. Still not letting him go. After all this time, I'm still not letting him go. Still not. Never will. Never will not. because you can also just like associate him like just the uncle's death to be like almost like Oishi, because like Eri and Oishi like both hate each other, like for some reason or another. Like we don't know exactly what caused it, technically speaking, or like what the reasoning was there. Could simply just because the whole many different meetings and repeatings of meanings that turn sour, or there's actual another good reason why they hate each other, or it's literally just Eri. Oh god, I lost my train of thought. He like tried to like he listened to to Keiichi talk all about him like trying to reason out what happened to him the uncle, and then literally just saying completely wholesale that someone like he like followed along completely just to get like his trust. They immediately try to make him a reservation to him to be goddamn like restrained and everything like that. But, like of course, like as Shion mentioned, like Oreo, excuse me, Oreo wouldn't trust him if he was that young. I mean, he's like someone older. But then if it was like since there was many different times this whole entire game at some point mentioned there's a bunch of like 4 or 5 people surrounding Tomotaki-san based on I guess an autopsy and like police reasoning and deduction, and also yeah, for like a few things. There's also that possibility, like extended even from one person that ate group, like then got someone else to help along with it, and then it went from there. It becomes a chain that extends all the way to Oreo as an indirect, link. That's the reason why like he was like indulging Keiichi, and then like behind his back trying to restrain him and make sure this doesn't leak out to I guess the police. Because if they were technically involved with removing like Teppei's body, like just getting rid of Keiichi by that point would then just be the next best thing. And since like oh god, and since actually thinking about if Eri already put that idea into the Locked Doctor's head and like that was put in the system, that might extend even more why he was put into a mental asylum after the whole entire game happened, after everyone died from the gas. It's because of what he did there, and after everyone died, after he committed suicide, something else happened. But he learned something or anything like that. Whatever happened to him, then extended to the rest of the town, and then it was out of his hands from there, whether it was murder or suicide. It extends further and further and further. I knew Grandma was very powerful on the underside of Hinamizawa. I never knew she was that powerful. I'm sure you heard quite a few rumors during the damn conflict. Didn't you also hear things directly? My gosh. The dam protests, I actually saw them issuing orders to my relatives. Like, destroy their heavy machinery, the sugar cubes. Or can we set up a checkpoint to blockade their construction vehicles? We saw that first in the 4th chapter. They set free their comrades and the police by coming up with alibis, destroying or forging evidence. I had seen relatives do those things, as well as the hag calling in counselors to house to protest. Like right in front of your eyes, too. As a child, I was pretty impressed. When I thought back, it was more than that, wasn't it? She was truly the mastermind who controlled the underside of the world. You've heard about the kidnapping case of the grandson of the Minister of Construction, right? Yes. So it really was a kidnapping, huh? Heard the grandson was demoned away and then found in the middle of the mountains in Takasudo or Yaguchi. That was at Oreo's command. Yeah, figures. That means Mion technically was already Mion knew that from the beginning then too. The minister promised to stop the dam construction and the grandson was released. All top people in the ex-Guardians know that. I guess I was right in the middle of it when it was happening, but I didn't notice. The hag, the 3 families, and the ex-Guardians are truly magnificent, huh? So Rika basically already knew too, and still warned Akasaka then. Not terrifying. Kamiyoshi finally realized the situation was in, and he was answering my questions. That made me happy, but the more Kamiyoshi told me the truth, the more I realized Satoshi-kun really was dead. It made me very sad. Who actually demoned away Satoshi-kun? I don't know. We were never to ask who actually executed Oreo-san's orders. He was right. That was how the system worked. And so, that was a bad question. Whoever it was did a great job, because his body hasn't been found. That's not easy. But it's who actually killed him. It is possible that Orio's-san has helped to get rid of the body. It actually does make sense, but I guess maybe I'm getting rid of him, I guess the main culprit for the first murder as well. Because all those people were employees of the construction site. And of course the whole town would blame them as well to be part of it. So it makes sense why they were, I guess, killed or demoned away and their body was never found afterwards. Including the arm that was from the main culprit. Is the reason why, like, both that note that was worked out of the note from Keiichi's, like, writing in the first installment, and what Coach did in the third installment, all because they didn't want to put more eyes onto the last incidences, and like they didn't want the police itself to, like, have a reason to do so. The whole thing of a search warrant, like Oishi kept pushing for a few times. The police always were pressured by the Sonozaki group to only like look at them as separate incidences and never as a unique, a series of murders. And if like those details came to the police and the press, they would then immediately think that, well, of course not the press, but if anyone, like even a reporter, knew about it, then yeah, it kind of would make sense too. Putting aside who actually killed him, it's possible Oreo-san has helped to get rid of the body. You know about the well further down from here, the one used to dump bodies, don't you? His body's not in there. It's not. And I kind of doubt it was actually, unless some Oishi said, like, after, like, they did, I guess, analysis of, how long the bodies were in the well, like, that's, like, unless they were still looking at it, or was also his general comment that, they looked like they were in there for, decades, unless that was his comment, I don't think it's either the first killer or Satoshi. Especially from the sound of it. He didn't mention it was another kid with the skeletons down there. From the sound of it, just from what he left out and glossed over, it all seemed like it would be adults then. Which in a Yakuza setting would make complete sense, and that's why I didn't mention it. It's not Satoshi there. It's not him in there. It's not. You know about the well further down from here, the one used to dump bodies, don't you? Yeah, I do. It's a lot safer to dump a body in the well than to bury it somewhere in the mountains. Whoever disappears becomes a sacrifice to calm the anger of Oyashiro-sama. That was the rule of this game. Therefore, the bodies must never be discovered. There must never be a beginning. That's why the bodies had to be dumped somewhere nobody could find them. It's very possible the well was used for that. Then, Satoshi-kun is at the bottom of that well? I grabbed a flashlight and headed to the huge cave with all the cells. Oh, because, like, I don't think it's him in there, but if she can barely see and, like, she does see bodies in there, unless she can reason it out and, like, there's nothing there, she either, like, think it is him in there and goes crazy, or we're literally gonna see details that even Oishi didn't decide to tell Keiichi, as only an outsider would. But oh my. As I turned on the lights in the cave, Mia noticed me and gave me a worried look. I ignored her and headed to the cell in the back. I was still very impressed by how the well was hidden. It was almost artistic. Where's this scene gonna happen where you tell me and to always pretend to be Shion or anything like that? One of my Keiichi comes and pretends it's the other way around and all that. There was actually a time where when Keiichi was knocked out with a taser by hitting him in the back of the head, most likely a taser again, he couldn't hear what they were talking about for a tiny bit. Is that what it was? Or something else? I was still very impressed by how the well was hidden. It's almost artistic. I shone a flashlight at the bottom of the well. I had no way of knowing how deep the well was. The light of the flashlight wasn't strong enough to reach the bottom. I inhaled, then screamed into the well. Satoshi-kun! Satoshi-kun! Satoshi-kun's name echoed again and again. It was obviously a very deep well. I thought of climbing down using the wedges in the wall, but with a flashlight hanging from my neck, I couldn't light my footing properly. Even if there was enough lighting, I didn't even know if the wedges were sturdy enough. It would be like committing suicide. Oh boy, I want to read that again. Ooh. Ooh boy. Oh. Satoshi-kun was at the bottom of this well. That's when I felt it. A warm hand rubbed my head, for sure. Oh, this music's back again. Shion, you finally found me. Satoshi-kun, Satoshi-kun, Satoshi-kun. I've been looking for you for so long. Sorry I couldn't find you while you're still alive. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's not your fault, Shion. There was nothing you could have done before I was killed. But you did everything you could do after I was dead. Satoshi-kun, I want to join you. I'm coming right now. I'm gonna jump, so please catch me. Oh. Satoshi-kun smiled bitterly. I was saddened to see him reject me. Shion, I'm happy that you found me. But you are alive, Shion. It's so important to be alive. You can't waste it. If you aren't here, I don't want to live. I want to be with you, Satoshi-kun. I want to be close to you. I want you to rub my head again. I want to spend time with you. I'll be a good girl. I want to be with you. Live. Do I have to? Live and enjoy your life, okay? What's so fun about living alone? You'll find out, so long as you're alive. To live. Goddamn reason to live thing. I will live. I will live. The eerie well now felt warm. I wasn't allowed to go down to the bottom, but the edge of this well was the place where you and I could meet. Oh, I thought it was going to end there. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so long. This is only chapter 11. Oh my good god. Mion? Satoshi-kun? I found him. He's at the bottom of the well, isn't he? I think so. I can't think of anywhere else he'd be. Mion started to sob. You weren't there when Satoshi-kun was killed, were you? No. If you were there, would you have begged Grandma to forgive him? Yes. I would have begged her to let him live. Liar. Huh? You liar! On that day, a year ago, I had just recalled how cruel Mion was then, when she forced me to rip out my nails, acting her role as a successor. Okay, I think this actually been going, oh, you're slowly just going insane now, thinking about it even more. That, or just, oh boy, after everything is happening, and I'm, yeah, the whole, God. I just feel empty now, honestly. I feel empty. Even if she was there when Satoshi-kun was killed, she wouldn't have stopped being the successor. Satoshi-kun was brought to the torture room. When he saw Mion, I'm sure he thought she would save him. Even as he heard the family head read out his death sentence, I'm sure he looked at Mion and believed that she would save him. He believed Mion was acting that way only because she was with her relatives. He believed she would help him out, but she didn't do anything. He strapped to her restraining device, yet she still wouldn't do anything. Mion was cruel. Mion? Is it about time to help me? I see. I get it. You're with the rest of the family members, so you can't even show a hint of compassion. That sucks. Help him! Help him! Why? Why didn't you help him? You saw him looking at you, begging to help him, didn't you? Why didn't you help him? Even when he was going through a rough time because of his awful aunt, you didn't help him. He pretended to sympathize, but you didn't help him. You ignored him. He was cornered because you didn't help him. I tried. I tried to support him. Even when you didn't protect him from killing his aunt, I did. I sacrificed myself to fight for him. 3 nails were nothing to me. I wasn't enough to rescue Satoshi-kun. I couldn't help him. Do you know why? Because I was Shion then. As Shion, I was kept away from Hinamizawa and nobody told me anything. I couldn't know anything. But you were different. You were Mion. You were right in the middle of everything. You knew everything. Everyone told you everything. If I were you, I could have helped Satoshi-kun. I would have. But you were Mion. Give it back, Mion. That name isn't just yours. It's mine too. Besides, it was mine to begin with, remember? I just let you be, Mion, remember? It was mine. Give it back to me. Give me my name back. I can't stand that you even look like Mion. If I were Mion then... And that's where this all started. I kicked the bars. I kicked him again and again. Mion curled up fearfully in the back of the cell, as he was trying to prevent the bars from crashing down on her. That's how it all came about. My god. Holy shit. Well, there goes everything laid out into bear. Oh, because that whole naming and slipping back and forth. One notebook page. 188. Tying your own noose achievement. Took another step in the journey of revenge. Okay. Oh boy. So, like, this is the last one. The very last tip, I'm assuming. Unless magically another one appears at the end, which I doubt every single time chapter 11 comes, and this is the very last tip, so... Oh boy. How's this all going to go down then? By the end, she already basically knew that Oishi was going to go, like, you know, attack and arrest her. So, yeah, there was that. She kind of accepted that was going to happen. He's already been living with the fact that she was already technically dead, even from before she started killing people. Before everything happened. I just feel empty. I honestly just feel empty. Oh boy. Page 188. After that, I joined the youth group in the search for Kimiyoshi. I went down the town council's phone directory and called to see if he had visited. Then the group split according to the circular notice divisions and sent him to search the town. Everyone seemed to be assuming they wouldn't find him. But since I knew they definitely never would, it was just bothersome to me. After midnight, they were all still enthusiastically looking for him. I bore the sleepiness while yawning. I heard somebody whisper, "Last year, we did the same thing when Satoshi Hojo-kun went missing." The youth group was looking for someone who would never be found, just like last year. I was yawning because I knew this. Oh boy. Last year, must have also been some people who were yawning and grinning on the inside. It probably gets rid of the empathy, I guess no empathy, I guess flaw within Shien even more than when she has a reason now to think that any of her family members are behind any of it, extends to that too, even if she personally loved and cared for them. Oh boy. Last year there also must have been people who were yawning and grinning on the inside. When did we stop searching last year, do you remember? When Satoshi Hojo went missing? Oh, what time was it? Oh, I guess that was around midnight. It was around 2 in the morning. Although they spent as much time searching for Kimiyoshi, they didn't do the same when Satoshi went missing. After all, some people knew they wouldn't find him. They must have been sleepy. They must have said they should leave it to the police. Shit. I want to kill people who said that. Extended to the whole rest of the thing, just going down. God damn it. It all makes sense for why, Shion felt that way, and again, after all this point, right now, before, even before, the last episode of, Shion being, revealed to, I guess, kidnap, actually be behind it all, actually pretending to be Mion this whole time, even before, it's uploaded, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how else this could have went, if, cause, oh boy. It just feels... I can't even think of another way of how this could have went down. It's probably another reason why it just feels so empty. It's even just, hearing how she, try to reasoning everything out. It all just feels it comes back around to, people she technically loved or care for. But, she knew them longer. She knew them longer than that. It wasn't, there could be a whole thing, they're not involved in it, and, they had a sympathetic motive and all that, but no, repeatedly, even when, she was giving them a chance secretly, and, she was even telling them, asked them completely seriously, and also pleadingly to him, giving a chance of him, please tell me that something else happened. Please tell me something else did. They just kept pushing that hostile opinion of the Hojos and all that, and everything that happened before. Even when I'm knowing that I'm God. It's just bad all around. Honestly. My god, I feel dead inside. Well, I guess we'll leave this off here. So well, for what's gonna happen then is literally what happened in the second installment. And the one thing now I'm just wondering is if the point of view is actually gonna end right when Shion then decides to, I guess, put in eloquent words, join the Toshi. I guess. I wonder how it's gonna end. Because even now, we still don't know the whole doppelganger situation of what's going on, no matter what's been happening so far. And even then, she would never find that out until after she's dead. Or if she's not, then she probably never will because it's confidential. And by that point, she's in the run. She'll never learn that fact, and she never will. Unless, like, some other installment, like, fully wraps everything up to be, like, a good ending or something like that. Which I kind of almost doubt. Even thinking about it now, if each of the four last answer arcs are all this, and like since the fourth chapter was never gonna happen before, if I'm gonna assume that the fourth answer arc installment was always gonna happen, I guess they'll be tying up all the loose ends and showing it off, and then the next two installments will be showing off a different side and maybe explore what happened. I guess what actually happened, either in the first or third installments. If I was going to assume they're going to do that for each one from a different perspective, or, like, show a different angle of it, then it would probably be the next installment would be all about the first installment. Or literally, like, since even that was hard difficulty, the third installment has the hardest, apparently, from the sound of it. So they'll probably leave that for last. Unless they want to do a whole full circle situation, they leave the very first installment to be the last, I guess, answer arc to be given what actually happened. And the rest is slowly just giving answers a different roundabout way, honestly, instead. It's hard to be, like, giving answers to the rising, hard or easy difficulties, honestly. Like, and since the second installment was apparently, like, shown to be, like, a bit more easy than the other one so far. I can't remember what the difficulty of the fourth one was right now. I'm gonna even re-see that before before, I guess, the ending of this installment. But, yeah. Holy shit. Shion will then, like, probably then attack Rika as well. That's probably when, by this point, she actually went absolutely insane based on a lot of different factors. Her whole family, basically, she believes behind it and everything like that. She then extends it to Rika. Then, when Rika comes to, like, the soy sauce... Wait, did that mean... hold on a second. Did Shion actually make that newsletter out? Or was that, the family before this all happened? I want to know the distinction now, because that changes things even more, doubly so, if it was after the festival. Or not. That makes things worse. Rika goes to the house, gets killed, or at least kidnapped there, talking to, then everyone gets killed by then. At least very much, like, both of them get killed before, like, Keiichi comes to the house. Yeah. It all makes sense from there. Oh boy, oh boy. It's all gonna be hard to go through and, like, just read through it, but oh boy, oh boy. Oh, good God. Okay, well, I guess we'll see how in what way this all ends, whether it's Shion actually falls in the well or someone else. And I can't even think of another way how this end, honestly. If it does another thing like that, I'll be amazed once more. But I guess we'll find it all out for next time. So, hope a fun time watching as I am playing this. Hope you see you next time, what time that may be, and I all hope you fantastic day.